We are in the beautiful Amazon jungle in Brazil for Jungle Fight 1. History truly being made tonight. The first ever jungle fight. Hi, everybody. Ryan Bennett with Frank Trigg. It is nice to be with you in beautiful Brazil. Trigg, this is truly incredible to see fights in MMA coming all the way to beautiful Brazil.
Absolutely, Ryan. It's one of the most beautiful venues that we've ever been in. Take a nice quick look at the ring girls dressed in traditional Amazon jungle garb. It's an amazing place. It's a great spot. You know, this is going to be a good fight tonight.
It's going to be a great fight tonight. The first fights, really the first big fights to come to Brazil. There's been lots of fights before, but jungle fight has really taken this to an entirely new level. Time for our first fight of the evening. You're looking at Rodrigo de Souza. He's making his way to the ring, ready to go, and you think of a lot of these Brazilians, you think of how good their jiu-jitsu really is.
Yeah, even the ones that are more Muay Thai background, more of a boxing background, still have a great, strong background in jiu-jitsu as well, Ryan. You know, the country basically made it famous with the Gracie family when they first started, controlling how all the mixed martial arts was put together and how things were put together. They hail from this country. This is an amazing place. Most of these guys are going to have an extreme knowledge, more than just a normal knowledge of jiu-jitsu, even if their main thing is stand-up. So no matter what happens, all these guys are going to be dangerous on the ground, and a lot of these things we'll probably see tonight. We'll see a lot of submissions tonight, as opposed to when you see a lot more American productions, you see a lot of knockouts.
Good look there at Rodrigo. They call him actually Riscado is his nickname. I like just to say Riscado to work on my Portuguese, which isn't very good.
Stop. Don't do it again.
Looking forward to this battle tonight to kick off jungle fight. You know what's neat about this jungle fight, Trigg? The local communities really embrace this, haven't they? Yeah,
they really have. You know, the awards we get tonight we'll mention, I'm sure, throughout the entire production that there are the awards that get the winners after every fight. They are hand carved by local natives. If you look around at the venue, you look at the cage, or excuse me, the ring, you look at the ring post, you look at everything. They're all highly decorated. Everything was built. When Ron and I showed up here about 4 or 5 days ago, there was nothing here but water. There was literally, we're standing over the Amazon River right now. There was nothing here but water. They built the entire stage from scratch in the 4 days that we're here for this venue tonight.
Nice to see a local community very much embrace MMA.
Vamos receber agora Ebenezer Braga.
And his opponent tonight, a very good fighter, a very experienced fighter, making his debut tonight in Jungle Fight. This is Ebenezer Braga, and Braga Trigg comes with some pretty good credentials.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Braga is an amazing stand-up guy. You know, he has incredible stand-up skills. Just the quickest knockout power I think I've ever seen. But coming back to a classic matchup of the striker we have here with Braga versus his opponent D'Souza, which is more of a ground fighter. You know, but like I said earlier, both these guys are going to have some pretty good knowledge of jiu-jitsu, some pretty good knowledge of submissions. It's a natural progression within all Brazilian fighters. If you train in Brazil and do any kind of fighting, most of the guys you're training with, are high-level pro belts or higher in jiu-jitsu. So even if you aren't really known as a submission artist, you do have a lot of good submissions. So if this goes to the ground, it's still anybody's game.
Braga, clearly the more well-rounded fighter, as Trigg mentioned.
Aos jurados da noite de hoje. Vamos aos jurados da noite de hoje. Teremos aqui Rogério Minotouro.
Minotauro Nogueira at ringside. They're announcing some of the dignitaries here tonight.
Teremos Gavião. Olei Lobato.
Good look at my favorite part.
Vamos conhecer de perto os nossos lutadores.
The ring card girl.
She's a dignitary in your book, isn't she?
She's an
Rio de
amazing
Janeiro
job.
tem 1,86 m, 96 quilos. Oscila Jiu-Jitsu. Título IVC e Meca.
Well, you know that he won the Mecca tournament in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A very prestigious tournament in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Very tough tournament.
Ebenezer Braga é do Rio de Janeiro, tem 1,90 m, 100 quilos. Muay Thai, campeão Pride, IVC e UFC.
All right, good look at both fighters here. Braga, of course, as you heard, competed in the Brazilian UFC from years back. You see Paulo Filo, the referee, bringing both guys together, and he's a great fighter in his own book.
Yeah, he really is an amazing fighter. Actually, one of the strongest guys, at the lower weight class. Is just absolutely amazing. He's got incredible punching power himself, and I'm sure they got him in here to keep more for control than an actual referee, because some of these guys are going to be absolutely crazy to get later on this evening.
Yeah, he's a good referee if you want one. I mean, he can truly pull you off if he needs to. It's going to be an interesting battle. So, D'Souza and Braga, going to be an interesting battle. Once again, Braga very, very good with stand-up. Going to be simple. I believe that Rodrigo wants to take him down, and we'll see if he'll be able to. Right now, already in the guillotine choke is Rodrigo. Look at the strength of D'Souza taking him right down, though. Wow, just picked him right up and put him down on his back. And the thing, Trick, I like about Braga, you mentioned this. I mean, we talk about how good his stand-up is, but his ground game is very good. And now, that's
over.
Forget about it.
He completely choked him unconscious.
The choke is on, and wow, are you kidding me? How quick was that?
Jeez, I'm just absolutely amazing. Like I said, he's more of a Muay Thai stand-up, more of a striker. Didn't really throw more than 1 or 2 punches. Neither one of them connected. Ends up finishing with a guillotine choke.
Unbelievable. That was quick.
I mean, I thought for sure that D'Souza was going to get his head up, was going to pop out of there. All of a sudden, he wasn't moving, and Braga actually had to look up at Paulo and let him know, hey, look, I think this guy's out.
Braga just slapped on that guillotine choke from the beginning. The fight went to the ground, and he still had that choke on, and that was it. My goodness, that was quick. Wow.
Jeez, I mean, you can see the disappointment on him. He didn't even realize it was really on until he was waking up a couple seconds later.
I mean, Trick, usually, when we cover fights, we see guys, just pop their head out. So, I mean, you and I weren't even thinking it was going to be over.
No, I thought for sure. So you can see right here, Braga's already got kind of sunk in kind of deep. See his arms all the way underneath his chin. He gets kind of lifted up in here. Good job trying to get to the single, trying to finish this, but he let him get all the way around with both legs. And as a result, once they hit the ground, Braga was able to tighten it up a little bit.
Wow, Braga just sunk that choke in, and it's over.
Yeah, I thought for sure his head was going to pop right out of here. I mean, it looked like it was almost coming out, but you can see here he's already out. Now it's just a matter of seconds before Paulo stops it.
Wow, and you saw Braga tell Paulo Filo, the referee, hey, he's out, he's out. He snuck in there and got out there. But, yeah, no one thought it would be that quick. That's for sure. Only 33 seconds is the official time into this fight. Ebenezer Braga. Wow. Time for our next fight, Kazunari Murakami versus Lee Young-gun. And making his way to the Jungle Fight ring is Lee Young-gun from Korea.
Mr. Gunn is a Japanese-style pro wrestler, where that strong style of pro wrestling that you see over in Japan. Trying to make his transfer over to MMA. Really trying to expand his fan base from Japan and throughout Asia with his pro wrestling style, and trying to get it more into MMA. And for those of you who don't know, the Japanese kind of pro wrestling is a stronger style. They actually hit, they actually punch, they actually lay submissions on, along with the entertainment value of pro wrestling, which makes it what's called, for lack of a better term, a strong style.
Yeah, absolutely. They a lot more stiff workers, quote unquote, is what some people will call it. But bottom line, the pro wrestlers in Japan, they know submissions, as you mentioned, Trig, and we've seen that before. We've seen a lot of guys come in here and actually do pretty well. People got to remember, guys like Sakuraba was originally a pro wrestler, and he came in and he's become one of the best MMA fighters in the history of MMA.
Yeah, the thing is, he makes a good jump because he comes from, like I said, a Japanese style of pro wrestling. You see all the pro wrestling dignitaries here, all the huge fans, all wearing the red and white of the Inoki Dojo, who helped put on, one of the promoters of this event tonight, who himself was a tremendously, well-known Japanese pro wrestler. For those you may recognize Mr. Inoki from his humongously large chin when he fought Muhammad Ali in that mixed fight.
Lee Young-gun getting ready to do battle with Kazunari Murakami. Gun waiting for Murakami, who's taking his time.
Quick note, that guy in the background is Brian Popejoy, who is actually one of the few Americans that's won the huge tournament in Thailand.
Kazunari Murakami.
And you heard his name, and here he comes to the Jungle Fight ring. Murakami, a pretty good fighter in his own right. He's really the favorite in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, of course, another guy coming from the Japanese style. I think he's doing most of his wrestling now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just an incredible, strong style kind of competitor. I spent a little time, watching him work out this week as we were prepping, and actually I got a couple workouts in around him about the same time. I was trying to work out with him. Not a very friendly man at all. He at first I just thought it was a language barrier, but no, he's just not a friendly guy. He does a lot of. He's very vicious. He kind of does some things that almost would be considered and not really dirty, but kind of borderline. He's a guy that you really got to watch as he competes, because he'll hold a submission a little bit too long. He'll grind into your face a little bit, with the gloves if he's on top of you. There's a lot of they're not quite illegal, but they're definitely sitting right there in the gray area.
Bottom line, Trig, I think he just doesn't like you.
I gotta agree with you there, but then again, most people don't.
Yeah, that's true. All right, here he comes, the one and only. I like you, Murakami, making his way into the jungle fight ring. Kind of getting ready to go tonight. It should be an interesting battle between these two fighters.
Wow, it's only the beginning of the second fight, and already I want to knock you in the head. Interesting.
Murakami from Japan, and he is definitely the favorite going into this fight tonight.
I think tonight I'm asleep in the canoe out in the river. And I'm definitely not really fucking with you again.
You see the pageantry and the beautiful women here in the Amazon getting ready for tonight's fight.
Outstanding.
Temos Lee Yong-gun, United States of America, 1,84 m, 93 quilos. Riscado, campeão.
Yeah, you see different tail tape. Lee Yong-gun, 93 kilos, 1.84 meters, and Riscado is his main style, which means be a lot more kicking, a couple of joint locks on the feet, what have you. Murakami, 100 kilos, basically about 220 pounds, a little bit taller, 1.86 meters, and of course he's going to use boxing as his main thing. But remember that these guys are well versed in a lot of different positions. As you can see, the intense stare out of Murakami.
Murakami's ready to go. I mean, he is ready for action. Getting, wow, forehead to forehead. How about that? Referee's going to push him away. No love lost between these two fighters.
I think they were trying to give each other kisses in that point.
That what it was? Murakami's looking pretty intense, I'll tell you that. He's ready to go. We're ready to go. Nice to have you aboard. And wow, look at the flying knee coming across the ring. And Lee Yong-gun in a little trouble right now with Murakami.
Lee Yong-gun doing a good job of ducking, getting on top a little bit. Murakami just kind of floated over the top of him. But he is in a position right now, and I know it doesn't look right, for most of us that see a regular street fight or whatever. But Young is in a lot of trouble right now with Murakami on the bottom, because he's got one of his arms tied up. At the time when he first landed, he had one of his knees tied up. A submission was very imminent. There's a lot of positions here that Murakami can finish this very quickly.
Nice job by Gung landing a couple rights, but as you mentioned, he's already put himself in a bad position with Murakami, a guy that knows submissions. He's very good with submissions. And you can see those arms just kind of flailing. You do not want to give your opponent who knows submissions anything. Oh, and now already he's going for an armbar. Oh, man, this could be over quickly.
Yeah, the first thing the gun didn't want to do was kind of be in his guard. He wanted to stand up as high as he could and try to keep it on his feet.
Oh, he's got his arm now. I mean, Murakami has got Lee Yong-gun in a ton of trouble. Gung is in a lot of trouble now. Got his arm exposed, and that's it. That's it. You hear him screaming. And why is he putting the armbar back on? What is going on?
A little kick at the end there. Nice job, Murakami, going and showing us great sportsmanship that we always like to see.
Murakami, you heard him screaming. The referee tried to pull him off, and then he reattached the armbar.
I think someone's going to take him out back here real quick.
Maybe Trig. Watch out. You sit out. You don't need to get up from the broadcasting table.
See, that's the one thing I can't stand, really, is, the ref stopped it. It was over. The fight was done, and he reapplies the armbar. I mean, he's already got gun. Gun can't even tap. He's afraid to let go because he's going to have his arm broken, and Murakami won't let go. I mean, this is supposed to be a sport. This isn't, two barroom brawlers out there, and he's one of the reasons why sometimes I'd rather take these guys out behind the barn than actually fight them inside a ring or a cage.
Here's the armbar. Murakami clearly has it on. Lee Yong-gun clearly screams, and folks, he's about ready to have his arm snapped if he doesn't tap out or submit, and then he reapplies it. Look at this. It's over. He reapplied it, and then he kicks him when he gets off. I mean, Murakami not winning many fans tonight here in the Amazon.
Kazunari.
Murakami gets a win Very controversial with the way he handled himself after the fight, but nonetheless, he's your winner tonight in Jungle Fight. And it's time for our next fight. Should be an entertaining battle. You're looking at Marcelo Tigre, a local legend here in Brazil, taking on Joseph Bamguis in an entertaining matchup. Marcelo Tigre, we mentioned him, a local legend here, and he's got quite a reputation here in Brazil.
Bit of a bad man, good submission artist, obviously. I think he's from the local Gracie Braga. He's good friends with the local promoter here, with Valit Ismail. Definitely does a great job out here training. Is won the local qualifier for the World Championship, and then got hurt before the World Championship, but was picked to place in the top 3. So Tigre, as all purposes, is a great submission artist, and will have a great fight tonight.
Joseph Bamguis.
There he is, Marcelo Tigre, the heavy favorite.
Marcelo Tigre, de Natal, Brasil. 1,80 m, 94 quilos. Estilo Jiu-Jitsu. 41 lutas invictas. Joseph Bamguis, africano. 1,84 m, 96 quilos. Pro Wrestling.
You see Bamguis, 94 kilos, 100.8 meters. Jiu-Jitsu specialist, of course. Bamguis is 86 kilos, about 184, and of course his best style is boxing. A little bit of difference in weight here. Of course, Tigre is just a little bit heavier, with that extra 8 kilograms on, which is 16 pounds. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. About the same height, relatively speaking.
Yeah, pretty simple to break down. Obviously, Bamguis wants to keep this fight standing. Tigre wants to take it down. Whoever imposes their will and their style will probably win this fight. Right away, Tigre tries to tie him up. Bamguis, good right hand. You can see the power he has from his kickboxing background.
Definitely push Tigre off there a little bit. Tigre now just dropping his head and pulling his way in, trying to take it to the ground as quick as he can.
Both guys now working here in the clinch. Tigre having a heck of a time taking down Bamguis. Bamguis some good body shots as he's trying to avoid the takedown.
I'm sorry, Ron. He's doing a really good job here. I'm kind of impressed with Bamguis' style. He's doing a good job. Tigre's actually pretty good at taking guys down, especially. Oh, here we go.
Well, he still can't take him down. How about that? How about the strength of Bamguis doing a nice job avoiding the takedowns from Marcelo Tigre.
He's doing really good. Bamguis is very athletic. He's got very quick-footed. Every time, Tigre's expending a lot of energy trying to get this guy up in the air.
You see the big legs that gives a lot of the power to Tigre. And on the other hand, Joseph Bamguis would love to try to break through and land some of his patented kicks. Bamguis continues to work the body. Tigre still trying. Oh, he finally gets the takedown. And this is not where Bamguis wants to be, right in the side control from Tigre.
Bamguis has got to get his elbows back down on the ground as he's reaching back to the left arm.
Oh, and he's giving up his back.
No.
Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is going to be over. Tigre has his back, and now he's sinking in the rear naked choke. This is not going to last long. And that's it. Yeah. Tapping out. Yeah, absolutely. Bamguis does not know the ground game. Gave up his back. And that was the end of the fight. Quick word from Marcelo Tigre.
A classic mistake by a guy that's used to being on his feet all the time. Wasn't really sure what to do once he hit the ground. Turned the wrong way, gave his back to a submission specialist. That's not what you want to do, especially a guy like Tigre, who's going to be very happy to go ahead and grab a hold of your neck and try to choke you out with as quickly as possible.
Paulo Filo, the referee for this match. And
atenção para o resultado do minuto e 28 segundos por finalização. Marcelo Tigre.
And there's your winner, the man from Brazil, Marcelo Tigre. And Trick, take us through it here.
You can see it got side mount in the middle of that takedown, took him right down to Bamguis right to the ground, took his side mount. What happened is it was more of Bamguis turning than so much as Tigre taking his back. See, immediately sunk his left hand around his neck. It was already half sunk. It was just a matter of time before Bamguis had to tap out.
And I tell you what, the one thing Bamguis did a good job is he avoided the takedown for quite a long time.
Yeah, he really did. And all that happened really is that Tigre finally decided to lower his level, squat down a little bit lower, and drive through him to get this takedown.
Got the takedown, would later get the back, and here he goes. Sneaks around. That was the end of the fight. Marcelo Tigre looking impressive, and Paulo Filho had to watch closely, and you see the tap coming, and that's the end of the fight. Marcelo Tigre gets a win right here in his home country of Brazil. All right, time for our next fight. You're looking at Dario Amorim making his way to the ring, and he'll be taking on Justin McCully tonight. Good look at Dario. And Trey, I know you know a little bit about McCully. We'll get to him in a moment. But Dario Amorim likes the ground game. Okay at standing up, but he's kind of a street legend. I know he's spent a lot of time in Brazil boxing, doing some stand-up. He's been working on his ground game, but right now I think if it was up to him, he'd like to stand up for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I got to tell you what, he has this moniker of being a great submission guy, you know, for his size and for his experience level. He's actually, as you alluded to, Ryan, he's actually a better boxer than he is a ground game guy. I have a feeling, unless Justin really opposes his will and really forces this to go to the ground, that Amorim's going to try to keep this up on his feet as best he can.
It will be interesting. He's ready to go, and his opponent also ready to go. Good look at the man from Brazil, Dario Amorim, making his debut tonight in Jungle Fight. He's ready to go, and hopefully his opponent is also ready to go. Justin McCully will be competing tonight against Dario Amorim. And Trick, what do you know about Justin McCully?
McCully spent a lot of time, down in Southern California kickboxing.
Justin McCully.
His brother's an amazing kickboxer, hangs out with a lot of kickboxer types. But Justin spent a lot of time wrestling. What he does now is he's at the LA dojo for the Inoki dojo in Los Angeles, and he runs all the training. He's the head trainer for the program over there to get because remember, in the Japanese style of pro wrestling, it's a very hard style that you've got to learn how to do not only kickbox, how to box, how to do true submissions, because it's not like we see here in the States of pro wrestling. Their style is a lot more difficult. It's a lot more of an angry style, to use a terminology you get from Japan. To take a good look here at Justin. But Justin's always been, he's always been the middle of the run kind of fighter. He's always right on the cusp of making it big, but always seems to kind of fall short when he goes through. He's kind of back on the comeback trail a little bit with Jungle Fight here. He's trying to get a good win over Amorim tonight, and like I said, if Justin forces his will, tries to take this to the ground, this will go to the ground very quickly. Justin has some pretty good submission skills. We could see a quick early end of this fight.
What concerns you most is Amorim. I know he hasn't seen much tape on him. What do you think he's going to have trouble with tonight against Amorim?
Well, the thing with Justin, he always starts out very, very slow. You can see Jesse Reed in his corner, who's a very famed pro boxing trainer who actually trains Justin right now as well, has about 15 champions of his own in pro boxing. Justin's biggest thing with Amorim is that he tends to start off very slow, and Amorim can catch him very early with a very hard right hand, a very hard right kick to end this fight very fast.
1,85 m, 98 quilos, Muay Thai, campeão IVC.
All right, you get a chance to look at both fighters, and here's your tail of the tape.
You've got Amorim at 96 kilos, 1.85 meters, and a Muay Thai specialist is what they have written down here now. And then Justin McCully is 96 kilos. He's about 184 meters, and of course he has pro wrestling because he's training with one of the Inoki dojos. Pro wrestling is his style.
Gotcha. So we'll see what happens here between Amorim and the entire crew. Paulo Filho once again is your referee, and we're underway here. Amorim and McCully. And this is always exciting when you have two fighters that don't know very much about each other. It always makes it very interesting to see a clash of styles here.
Well, the good news about this card is it's a lot of up-and-coming, middle-of-the-road guys that have some experience, but not quite got enough experience to make the big-name, huge shows that we see, in the United States and Japan yet. But they're almost there, and there's not that much tape to be had on either one of these guys, which keeps it very interesting. So even the underdog is not necessarily the underdog.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. I'm sure McCully, when he's thinking he's fighting a Brazilian, is probably thinking his jiu-jitsu is good. But to McCully's surprise, it's supposed to be Amorim, who has pretty good stand-up. So this will be a very interesting match.
Oh, wow. We can already see Amorim's already starting to bleed. McCully caught him in there with that straight left and kind of put a little blood into his nose. I wonder how Amorim's going to react to this, to the early bleeding in this first round.
Absolutely. Both guys now working in the clinch. You see some knees exchanged.
Amorim needs to get his back off this fence. He can't be sitting there all night like this because Justin's a big, strong guy. He'll just keep pushing, keep holding you there.
All right, Paulo's going to call a timeout so he can look at the cut or the nose. We'll get a better look here and see what it is. But Justin McCully landed a shot, as you mentioned. It looks like it's just a bloody nose. Right now, the doctor's looking at the nose to make sure it's not broken. They're going to look a little closer. This is not what you want to start a fight, that's for sure.
And right off the bat, it's kind of quick. You don't want to have it in this early, but it should be okay. It looks like, at least from our angle, at least, it looks like it's okay. He'll be able to go ahead and continue in the rest of this fight.
You see here's where it occurred for McCully. Now just a straight right hand.
Oh yeah, looked like I thought he got hit with that left is what caught him, but I guess it was that right.
And it looks like there's a cut towards the top of the nose now of Amorim. They wipe it off and we're ready to go. Touch of gloves and we're back underway here in the first round. Justin McCully and Dario Amorim battling it out. And it'll be interesting to see if Amorim's a lot more cautious with his striking because I know he doesn't want to get hit with that nose.
Yeah, I know. Maybe most guys, when they get hit one time, either back really out, get really hesitant, or they start doing a lot more motion. I like to see Amorim moving his head a little bit more because I think he can get inside and exploit the fact that Justin kicks and throws a lot of his punches with his hands down.
Well, Amorim landed a nice inside leg kick there that kind of buckled the knee of McCully for a half second. And now they're back in the clinch, and it's Amorim again with a short knee.
Amorim doing a good job of keeping this on his feet. McCully's trying to drive into him, trying to find somewhere to get a trip or whatever, but he can't really keep his back off the ropes. He needs to spin this around and push McCully against his, just for the judges' decision, because the more he keeps his back against the ropes, the more McCully's scoring.
You're watching the first ever jungle fight from the Amazon in Brazil. Ryan Bader, Frank Trigg, nice to be aboard with you here on the Fight Network. Justin McCully battling out with Dario Amorim. Right now, both guys, really kind of feeling each other, and it's McCully again landing a right hand.
You know what, Ryan? You and I have been a broadcast team all throughout this war. We're starting to get a lot more play, in and around the States and around Japan. You and I have been in Canada doing broadcasts. I tell you what, this is one of the most beautiful sites I've been to sitting out here in the middle of the Amazon.
Absolutely. A beautiful evening, a little humid, a little hot, but nonetheless very exciting. And that's one thing we should mention here in the Amazon. It's humid, and McCully, it's going to be interesting to see if he wears down later on as this fight progresses.
Yeah, he's not used to the hot humidity, living in Southern California down there in the Huntington Beach area. He's not really used to all the humidity. Had a little slip right there, but as this wears on, it's going to get a little bit heavier, and we'll see what happens with McCully as the heat starts to make effect. Yeah,
it's a beautiful night, but it's also a hot, humid night tonight in the Amazon, so we'll see how obviously the Brazilian fighters, they know what it's like, but those fighters from outside Brazil, like McCully from the United States, so we'll see how he does later as this fight progresses.
That's why if you look around ringside, you actually see Ryan and I sitting here in nothing but hot pants because it's so hot. I don't want to sweat my way through the microphone at this point. That was a joke. We're really thong.
Frank Trigg with extra insight you can't get anywhere else.
Well, let's tell it like I see it. Justin's doing more of the same thing. It just keeps pushing around, doing a good job. I like to see Justin back off a little bit and get his hands going. He's got some really good hand speed. Like I say, he's been working with Jesse Reed, getting his hand speed up, getting his accuracy up. But he's really not using it right here. He's doing a lot of inside clinching stuff, and it's not as effective as you get a little space and start throwing some bombs.
Amorim hasn't been the same. Oh, good knee there by McCully. That was the first significant shot since McCully's right hand on Amorim. But Amorim hasn't been the same fighter since the nose, and you can see it again. He continues to check that nose. He's been a lot more gun shy, firing the strikes, that's for sure.
Yeah, Amorim just needs to step in there. Justin's not as elusive as he looks. You got to kind of just keep spinning in, keep stepping in. So he needs to start. As soon as he gets his plum, he's got to start throwing knees right away. He's waiting too long. He's giving Justin time to reset and pull his head out.
Justin McCully makes his home in Los Angeles, California, against Dario Amorim from right here in Brazil, and both guys exchanging knees here in the clinch. Very much a feeling out period here in round one.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm kind of disappointed the way Justin's fighting. He could definitely be doing a little bit more if he'd step in and get a little space. Try to push off Amorim right now. He gets some more space between himself and him, so start throwing some good stuff off. Amorim's now getting some knees in there. So Justin's just kind of sitting here. He's content just to kind of lean in and put pressure on him, but it's really not doing any damage.
Under 20 seconds left now. If one of these guys can really get after it, they could probably win the round. And right now it looks like a low blow by McCully. Amorim says he's okay, but it was a little bit low. Bottom line, that's the end of round 1. So here we go, round 2 between McCully and Amorim. Touch of gloves, and we're underway. McCully, of course, in the white shorts. Amorim.
Great shot of the jungle fight canvas. All that was hand-painted. The entire canvas is hand-painted. No machines are used at all in that thing. It took them, I think, 2.5 days to get that whole thing painted correctly.
Yeah, it's amazing to see all the different work that's gone into this jungle fight. Trick mentioned at the top of the show that this place was basically all on water. They had to create the ring, build the ring, and all the things around them are handmade by the locals here. So it's just an entire community really embracing jungle fights. Great to see. I mean, you'll see politicians actually tonight. They're actually sitting in the first couple rows.
Yeah, there's a senator from the state of the Amazon, the governor, lieutenant governor from the state of the Amazon all here as well. Big, huge fans, obviously of the fight game, but then love it as well because all the proceeds from tonight's event go to help support the Amazon and try to rebuild some of the rainforest.
Yeah, very much a great event, and Trigger, this sport, it's been controversial in North America for sure, and it's nice to see that the politicians in Brazil here clearly embrace the sport.
I got to be honest with you, you're never really going to see a senator or a state senator even for that matter, let alone a federal senator, in the front row of any one of the fights in North America. I mean, it's going to be very rare to see something like that. And down here in Brazil, who's not looked on as a world superpower, or not looked upon as somebody that's in the now, but they're so much more progressive with their thought process of how to save the environment, how to kind of combine man and nature together. And this is a great way to do it. Obviously by giving some entertainment, getting some guys some fights, and then using the proceeds, like I said earlier, to go help out the rainforest.
Things slowing down here a little bit in round 2, and that's kind of what we expected. Both guys, spending a lot of energy, spending a lot of time in this clinch. And McCully right now throwing a couple little punches, but both guys really need to get more busy here. And Paulo Filho is telling him right now, back up, let's get after it, let's fight.
Yeah, that's one of the things, too, that I like about Paulo Filho as well as the official tonight, is that he definitely can keep control. But he also gives that sense of guys that, like in this fight, where they are moving kind of slow. He'll make you want to start punching, kicking, and getting moving. The big thing with Justin is that he very rarely comes in great tip-top shape. He always seems to be a little bit behind in shape, kind of uses his technique more to kind of keep him in the game. But then as a result, he kind of seems to have to slow everything down to stay in the fight.
And that's the thing. And Trick, we talk about guys that have a lot of talent, and then the guys that are at the top level. And it's the guys at the top level that don't only have that athletic ability, but they're training, they're working, they're trying to get better. And Justin McCully, he's got that athletic ability. Now he's just got to take it more serious and train and do all the hard work that comes to being a top MMA fighter.
Well, I spoke with a great hockey coach a long time ago, and he said basically that's kind of how God keeps it even. He gives all the guys all the talent. That makes it very difficult for them to want to have the heart to get great tip-top shape. That's why you have very few Wayne Gretzky's, Michael Jordan's, Tom Brady's. It's
Frank Trace.
Not quite yet, but we're getting there. But yeah, you get those genres where most guys that have all this amazing talent. It's very they don't necessarily have all the heart to go ahead and work out and make it happen. And Justin has amazing talent. Just if he had a little bit more heart to work out, a little bit more dedication to his conditioning, he'd be just an amazing fighter. He could, quite honestly, break the top 5 very, very quickly in the light heavy division. Well,
unfortunately, this has been most of the fight here in the second round. A lot of clinching, a lot of holding, and not much action. McCully landed a couple low kicks, but right now, both fighters, maybe it's fatigue, but whatever it is, this has been mainly the fight for round 2. A lot of holding, a lot of grabbing, a lot of clutching, and not much fighting, frankly.
Yeah, really not. It looks like they didn't get the guarana shots before they came out here. The guarana is a flower that is grown out here that they use in a lot of drinks in America that actually is like a little upper. It's almost like caffeine, that kind of thing.
There's a good jab there by Dario Amorim, and McCully tries to counter with a couple shots of his own, but once again, this is basically one of those things, one shot, one punch, and they get right back and clutch it and grab it here.
You can see the frustration in McCully's corner. Jesse Reed, who I said earlier is, has trained a tremendous amount of boxing champions, all around, and he's just got an incredible stable of fighters, and he's yelling at Justin to back off. He's in here tying up too much. He can't get any space to hit. He basically just tying up Amorim and trying to slow the pace down this fight down to almost crawl and hold him.
Amorim actually landed a knee. Nice job by him in the clinch, but once again, he's not following up with anything. The referee, Philo, just looked at him and started clapping and said, "Let's go, guys, let's go."
I think the biggest disappointment is I know how good Justin is. I know what he can do, and I just don't see him doing everything that he can. Amorim basically is almost fighting at the top of his game right now. It's about as good as Amorim can get with this style of competition.
Well, we're going to go to a third round. Just to give you an idea of where we're at, the first 3 fights we've already seen haven't gone past a minute 28. This one is going to be longer than both fights, or the first 3 fights combined. Going to a third and final round between Justin McCully and Dario Amorim.
Look at me.
So that's Jesse right there grabbing a hold of his head.
When you're in this position, dig down here to both bellies, then bring it up inside, okay? Keep your shoulder in, lift it right up into the lane, then take your step back, boom, and drive off. All right?
Yeah, Tricky, you hear the conversation.
I'm telling you, Jesse's a very calm, he's been coaching for a very long time, so he knows how to kind of draw the best he can out of his athletes. You see Justin there block that kick a little bit and then come up high with that right.
That was a beautiful knee, too. I mean, right in the middle of the clinch, he jumps up. You can see that athletic ability you touched on, but he's just not following up with anything.
Yeah, he's really not digging in there. He's really not digging in deep. But, Jesse usually in between, during the rounds, he's yelling, he's screaming, he's foaming at the mouth, and all of a sudden you get in the corner with him, he's very calm and coherent and patient. And he learned a long time ago, you can't really yell at your fighter when he's frustrating you because it makes it worse. Hopefully Justin will come out for this third round a little bit tougher, a little bit faster.
Right, you're fast. Just go loose. All right, touch. All right, touch. Just go to work.
All right, you heard him. Time to get the gloves working and get moving here. And the thing that's tricky about this fight, McCully, he might be winning, but he's given Dario Amorim every opportunity to pull off the upset in this fight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is that if you're not throwing hands, you have a better chance of getting hit. I know it sounds strange, but if you just stand there like a moving target, you're going to spend a lot of time getting hit, and that's kind of what Justin's doing. He's tying up and charging in and pushing against the ropes. But if Amorim gets his timing down right, he can sidestep, catch Justin in the stomach with a knee real quick, and a quick hook or whatever, this fight could be over.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Justin McCully from Los Angeles, California, in the White Shorts, taking on Dario Amorim, the local from Brazil, a gentleman who fought a lot on the streets here in Brazil, and now is trying to make that transition from fighting on the streets to fighting in real fighting in MMA.
He's doing a pretty good job. I like the way he looks. I like his patience. He's not getting frustrated, even though Justin is kind of overpowering him. Great counter kick right there as Justin was kicking him. But he's just getting bullied around a little bit. His wrestling skills aren't as good as they could be, so as a result, he spends a lot of time with his back to the fence.
And McCully right now, his most effective shot has been the knees, and if he could just follow up with a few more, especially in this clinch, he'll be able to score a lot more points. And there's a knee landed by Amorim.
Yeah, I gotta tell you what, I'm kind of surprised Justin hasn't put this down to the ground. I thought, as I said at the beginning of the fight, that he'd try to get it down as quickly as possible and try to do some ground and pound and some submission work. Because Justin is really good at some submission, but it seems like he's just content to stay up on his feet and kind of earn obviously he's earning it, but earn a kind of a long decision when I thought he could have easily finished this fight in the first.
And what do you think it is? Is it the size of Amorim that won't allow him to get him down, or what do you think it is?
Partly that. Partly it has to do with the temperature and the humidity, and part of it too is that Justin hasn't competed in a while, and he's the head trainer at the LA dojo for the Inoki dojo, and when you have a guy like Antonio Inoki, your boss, sitting in the crowd watching you compete, you want to do the best thing you can, and sometimes it makes you a little bit nervous and makes you slow down.
Amorim, a couple good knees now. He's actually hit McCully a few different times with some good knees to the midsection.
My main thing, Ryan, as you know, is that as a fighter, I definitely want to make sure that my fights never go to the end. I always want to try and get them out, never leave it to a judge's decision, because most people don't like me. And if I let it go to a decision, I'm going to lose. So
I was going to agree with you, but I better not. Amorim continues to battle in the corner of the jungle fight ring. Here's the interesting part, Trig, and you mentioned it. I mean, Amorim right now probably winning this round. He's landed more knees. If he can win this round, who knows who really won that first round? You're right. I mean, Justin McCully was a big favorite going into this fight. There's a flying knee, but he hasn't done a whole heck of a lot. And especially in the later rounds. You mentioned fatigue. Is it the fatigue that makes it hard for him to get the takedown? Is that what it is in your book?
Yeah, now getting later, it's definitely getting harder. And the later it gets into the fight, the harder it's going to be to try to get any kind of takedown. And so you really got to be careful, especially now because it's so sweaty and it's so slippery. You take a bad shot, you can end up on your face. You can end up with a knee in the head. You can end up, catch a knee in your chest because you're a little bit too slick. You always want to try and shoot earlier if you can. Even Paulo's starting to get irritated. These guys are pushing time.
It really is. Just as we are right now. These guys, you get paid to fight, you got to come and fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
And now Amorim's starting to mix it up a little bit. I tell you what, Amorim is starting to come back. And who knows who's going to win this fight now, because Amorim has been more of the aggressor. It hasn't been a lot, but he's been the more aggressor in this third round.
Well, plus you got to remember, too, that the judges are starting to look at, like, at first, they'd be like, oh, well, Justin is controlling everything by keeping Amorim against the ropes. Now, all of a sudden, now they're looking at it like, well, he's just trying to, make time waste time and try to eke this round out. So every time Amorim gets any kind of punch or strike in, it counts for double as comparison to anything that Justin does, because he seems to be slowing everything down.
Well, we're winding up this third and final round. Justin McCully was in control of this fight, but hasn't done a whole lot. Will he be able to hold on and get a decision? Paulo Filho will separate him once again. He's probably been more busy right now in this fight than the fighters have, unfortunately. And
it's a shame when you got to let the official, kind of make you create action. The only time the officials really be stepping in is to stop action. And and the thing is, I'm very surprised, because I know Amorim always keeps a very slow pace, always takes very time, always has a great right hand, great right leg kick, and can knock you out with either one. Justin always seems to have a little bit faster pace than I see here tonight. Obviously the humidity and the weather's got to be bothering him quite a bit. And I would like him to side, the last little bit of this round. Like to see both these guys pick it up, and let's see what they can actually do.
Trick, here on the Fight Network, we have so many different MMA promotions that you'll see. But when you and I call some of the Japanese promotions, they have the yellow card and red card, which helps, motivate these guys to continue to fight. Jungle Fight does not have that. Neither does, groups like the UFC or TKO or any of the other local promotions. The interesting part is this would be a perfect time to have that.
Yeah.
To get these guys motivated to lose points. Because right now they had a tough time fighting. Now it's the end of the fight. Well, it wasn't one of the better ones you'll see, but nonetheless, we will see what the judges saw. Will it be Justin McCully or Dario Amorim?
Go real quick back to that yellow card, red card thing that you see over in Japan and some of these other series, that every time you see the yellow card, it's 10% of your purse. Every time you see the red card, it's 20% of your purse. So whatever you're winning for that night, you get a yellow card, 10% gone. See the red card, 20% gone. So if you get 2 yellows and a red in one round, you just lost 40% of your purse. So it motivates guys to definitely get out there and throw. But the problem is when you see a high-action fight, if the official just doesn't like one of the guys, or if he's just bored, he's been out there all night, and he's just tired of being there, and he wants to see someone get knocked out, he'll pull out a yellow card and randomly throw him out. So there is good with the yellow card, like in this fight, as you see, one of the rare times in action in this replay, that it would have caused more action, but not sometimes it kind of hurts the fighter. So there's good and bad with that yellow card system.
Yeah, if they could just take away the points, that'd be better. Let's listen who won this fight.
Por decisão dos jurados, o vencedor deste combate, Justin McCully.
All right, Justin McCully pulls out a decision. He was nervous as well. You can see by his reaction, he was not sure if he won the fight, but nonetheless, he's victorious. He's trying to pick up his opponent. That would have been better if we would have done that earlier on in the fight. But
a lot of action right there for the end of the fight.
So McCully gets the win. It was not easy. It was very difficult, but nonetheless, Justin McCully, your winner tonight. Let's go up and hear what he has to say about the fight.
Justin, beautiful fight. You told me before the fight that you're gonna have a feeling for your opponent, and then bring him into your game plan. Yeah. And why didn't you take him to the ground?
We've been working a lot on boxing and kickboxing, and Dario was a strong guy on his feet. It was hard to take down. I tried it a couple times, but it seemed like I would have spent too much energy getting him down there, and they were breaking us a lot to stand on our feet. So I decided to give the judges what they wanted and the crowd what they wanted. Stay on our feet and exchange. Every crowd's different nowadays. No holds barred. Coming to a stand-up fight. The evolution for the sport starts here in Brazil, and if we're gonna begin stand-up fighting, then that's what I want to do.
Yeah, you knew he was a Muay Thai fighter, though, right?
It's always fun to beat a guy at his own game, too, you know what I mean? Prove that, hey, no matter what you bring to the table, Justin McCully's here, and I can take it and give it.
And time for our next fight. You're taking a peek at Gabriel Gonzaga from Brazil, making his way to the Jungle Fight ring. An interesting fighter. We get to finally see some heavyweights, and the heavyweights can move like middleweights. They're that quick. This should be a very interesting battle between Gonzaga and Fabricio Werdum.
Gonzaga's, a great competitor. He's a great fighter. You can see he's walking in here. He comes from a great competitive background. Most of these guys in this camp, you can see the couple of guys that are in this camp. That's Macaco sitting behind him that actually is going to fight later on tonight with his hands already taped. His corner is one of the best corners around right now in this level of competition, and he's set almost to start breaking his way in a little bit. This is a little more time to develop his skills.
You get a good look there at Gabriel Gonzaga, and he's going to be facing the one and only Fabricio Werdum, and Werdum is clearly the more experienced fighter, is clearly the more feared fighter, and it's going to be a very interesting battle to see what he can do. I mean, this guy is good standing up. He's very good on the ground. It could be a lot of fun to see what he does. You see him coming out in the traditional Amazon gear.
Very intense fighter. I got to tell you what, both these guys I think are going to try to keep it up on the feet a little bit more. It's going to be a good exchange, but both these guys are better at their better base is stand up. Of course, Werdum is an exceptionally gifted guy on the ground. Just amazingly gifted, but he prefers actually to strike, to swing. So we'll kind of see what happens with him.
Yeah, he's one of the bigger Brazilian heavyweights you'll see, but once again, if he goes to the ground, it can be over quickly.
1,87 m, 101 quilos. O estilo jiu-jitsu.
If you look here at the tail of the tape, you see Fabricio Werdum is clearly the bigger fighter in this fight.
Both guys have jiu-jitsu as their main base, and we're going to see a little bit on the ground, but I have a feeling more that's going to be up in the air, more standing by all means. I think both these guys love to strike, to prefer to strike, than they do to try to finish with submission, because striking to them is so new.
Well, we're getting set for round one. Once again, your referee will be Paulo Filo, bringing both fighters together here, giving them final instructions. You see the size of Fabricio Werdum. I mean, he is a big Brazilian. He's about 6'4", 250. So here we go. Comes out right away. It looked like he was going to go with a flying knee and changed it in midair to a kick. And right away, Werdum, clearly the more aggressive fighter, trying to probably surprise Gonzaga.
Gonzaga doing a good job of nullifying, took a couple of knees right there in the midsection, flush knees, didn't block him at all, but doing a good job of trying to tie everything up. Of course, going right back to his base. Jiu-jitsu is the thing that he uses a little bit more than anything else. Even though he did say he wanted to try to stand up and knock him out, he's doing a good job of trying to attack and get this to the ground.
Werdum with some good knees early on as well. Good battle between these two fighters from Brazil. Werdum, a lot of big things expected from Werdum in his fight career when it's going to be all said and done. A lot of hype going into this fight about how good his trainers believe he will be. And once again, it's that potential war that you never know about, Trey, because you never know how good guys can be, and it's going to be up to them to continue to progress and get better and better.
Yeah, you have some early success. You may not want to train as hard. Oh, good job getting him to the ground. Good tight position. Good leg trip. Not the best takedown I've ever seen, but definitely good job getting to the ground. But with Werdum, a lot of guys say how good he is, and he had some success very early in his fight career against some really tough opponents, and sometimes you tend not to get any better, but he is definitely getting better, definitely getting stronger, and hopefully continue that so he can become one of the best guys in the world.
Right now, Paulo Filo will say, hey, let's stand them up. Let's get them back on their feet. So here we go. Back on your feet in the first round. Ryan Bennett, Frank Trigger in the beautiful Amazon, and both fighters working hard. Another takedown scored, and we'll see what they. This is where the fight really begins, because both guys are pretty good at jiu-jitsu. It could be interesting to see who has better jiu-jitsu in this position.
Yeah. Both these guys are highly accomplished. Werdum has the better competition record in jiu-jitsu. But remember, there's no gi on right now, and it's very difficult to do jiu-jitsu when someone's punching you in the stomach or punching you in the head. And it depends on it's a different style of jiu-jitsu.
Looks like you want to go for a key lock or maybe a Kimura early on, but Now back into the half guard here.
The half guard a pretty dangerous position if you're underneath it. Right now Werdum's in a little bit of trouble because he doesn't have that underhook with his left hand. If he can underhook his opponent's right hand to be able to get back. Oh, right to the full mount. Good job.
Yeah, this is a quick move, and now holding on. I mean, plenty of time still left in this first round, so this is not a position you want to be in.
Good job for Gonzaga. He's on top, raining down. Good separation. Got him off his chest. He was able to start punching down on him. And, Werdum's in a little bit of trouble here. He needs to try and get out of this mount as quickly as possible.
I was going to say, Gonzaga was a huge underdog going into this fight. And right now he's trying to buck Werdum off him if he can. Both fighters, this would be a huge upset trick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm amazed that Werdum's, he's really not moving his hips. He's really not really doing anything to truly get out of this mount. He's just kind of content to stay there, tie up the hands a little bit. But
now he gets out. You mentioned him. He bucked him off like you asked.
Good separation. I really enjoy the way that these guys get out of that mount position when they're mounted. How they cleanly get out and get really good separation, get themselves back in this fight.
And Trig, I'm surprised he okay, now he does. Paulo Filo, I was going to say, gave him a little time to get off the ground, and he finally does here.
Back up on their feet, and you can kind of see how Werdum is still being the aggressor a little bit, and then right when he got hit, right when he came back up again, he stopped moving. Ooh, Gonzaga, look, he might have a little cut right now from that last knee.
Yeah, it looks like he does, and Werdum, nice combination there, Lance. Good job by Werdum.
Geez, he dropped him there for a second. He dropped Gonzaga there for a second, but Gonzaga, good job recovering.
Gonzaga's really impressed. I mean, like I said, another takedown, gets a single leg this time.
Good job. Excellent work. Excellent work. Both guys are really active, and you can tell these are bigger guys. These aren't your smaller guys, and look at the action these guys are coming with. Both guys being aggressive. They're being paid to fight, so they're coming to fight. Yeah,
you're talking about guys at 230, 240, respectively, and they are battling it out here early on in this jungle fight. Now you see Gonzaga get back to his feet. Werdum can tend to be on his back until either the referee calls for a stand-up or until Gonzaga engages, and now he comes back and does engage.
Well, these guys slow down a little bit now. This round takes a little bit out of you when you're starting to move that much and as much action as they're having.
You see Gonzaga trying to go for the pass, kind of just diving in there. Werdum now goes for the ankle.
Oh, he's got a little bit of a knee bar. It's off now. He's turned out of it.
You can see how quick he can throw on submission. He continues to work for it and tries to grab it. Can't get it, so he just lets go, and that's the end of round one. Werdum, Gonzaga battling it out, and Werdum, I don't know if he won the last round. He finished the round strong, Trig, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in round two.
The biggest thing is that he when he hit Gonzaga, he dropped him down one time. Werdum is doing a great job of staying active, but obviously Gonzaga's the one being a little bit more aggressive. He's shooting it a lot more, taking him down 2 or 3 times. So that first round was a very even round. It could have very easily been a 9-9 round, but you got to have that kind of 10-9 round must system. So you've got to have it. Really, I would probably give that first round to Gonzaga because he took down Werdum 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, I agree. And the Trig, we're seeing a totally different round two now. Werdum continues to pound on Gonzaga. Gonzaga looks very tired. You saw him coming out in that second round. He looked a lot more tired than Werdum now. I think he sees it. He embraces it. He got the takedown easily. Continues to rain punches now. Oh, Werdum landing some big-time knees as well.
I mean, they're being blocked, but it doesn't make a difference. Even if you're blocking those knees, they're still sneaking through.
And that's the end of round two. Clearly Werdum's round there. This fight is absolutely changed from round one to round two.
It's absolutely amazing how much a round can make a difference in a fight. Very, very close to first round. The second round obviously went to Werdum. He controlled the entire pace of that entire fight, that entire round.
And now that means, it could be 1 round apiece, depending how the judges score this fight. Right now we don't have an official scorecard, so very, very close. Round one, round two, clearly in the hands of Fabricio Werdum, as we get ready to get started for round three. Right now, both fighters just absolutely tired. To show you the highlights, I mean, look at Werdum, how athletic he is. Landed that high kick later on, would get the fight to the ground. Tried for the guillotine choke there, and Gonzaga clearly pulled his head out easily, but later on in the round, it was all Werdum all the time. Show you highlights really from the first 2 rounds, how things have changed between round to round, and bring it to the 3rd and final round. Fabricio Werdum and Gabriel Gonzaga battling it out, and Fabricio leading right where he left off, continues the strikes. Gonzaga looks clearly tired. He's taking a lot of the shots now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's starting to get beat up a little bit. He's got to get this back down to the ground, or he's got to move. I mean, he's just standing right there taking the punching. He needs to get out of that position.
Werdum just clearly teeing off there. Finally, Gonzaga lands with a knee and a good right hand.
Well, great job, kind of fighting back a little bit, but you really can't stay inside that distance of getting punched. If you're going to stand still and you want to take a little bit of a break, get way outside so you don't get hit at all.
Werdum continues the short uppercuts. Now both fighters taking a little breather here in this 3rd round. Once again, 2 tired fighters really battling it out, giving it their all on a very hot and humid night from the Amazon. Fabricio continuing with those short little uppercuts. Not going to do much damage, but it will kind of bug the opponent to maybe try to change the position of the move. And now both fighters working back to the ropes.
Gonzaga putting a little possum here. Looks super exhausted. Looks like he's extremely tired, and all of a sudden lands a big knee hook, and all of a sudden he's back in this round again.
Sometimes fighters take off rounds. I'm not sure if that was the case, but he looks like he has a lot more energy from round 2 to round 3.
Yeah, that's for sure. He definitely does. And got to kind of see what's going on here. Gonzaga tends to push the action a little bit, and he may have pushed it too much in the first couple of rounds, and you just need a little bit to regroup himself.
Both fighters trying to finish strong here in this 3rd and final round. Fabricio Werdum, the big favorite coming in, but it was Gabriel Gonzaga surprising a lot of people in the 1st round. Werdum came back in the 2nd, and now trying to find out who's going to win this 3rd and final round. Both fighters exhausted. You can just see them leaning on one another. This humidity will zap it out of anybody. Oh, good right hand there, landed by Werdum, and continues the assault. Good combination now, picking up his game, and Gonzaga clearly tired. Nice knee landed by Werdum. Wow, he's picking it up.
Geez, he got rocked there. He's doing a great job of staying on his feet. Didn't really tie him up and lean inside and kind of got him up. Werdum is looking to Paulo Field, the referee. Hey, look, can we stop this, please? Can we finish this fight? He's like, no, he's still okay. He's still in the fight. Yeah,
absolutely. You get this tired, and you'll look any way you can to try to get out. Oh, nice knee again by Werdum. Wow. Continues with the knees, just holding the back of the head, and right now Gonzaga getting the worst of this exchange. Another knee lands by Werdum. Another one. Continues to lay it out. Paulo Field watching very closely now. And Gonzaga just goes to his back. This is a bad move for Gonzaga. He is clearly tired. He's taking a lot of punishment, and he's in big trouble. Werdum trying to finish this fight. Now he gets the arm. Oh, he's putting it on him. That's going to be a submission if he can lock it in.
Wow, he got out of that submission. Good job. Set right back over to that mountain.
Looked like he wanted to finish with a key lock, and did the corner throw in the tally? That's it. Forget about it. Fabricio Werdum just so impressive in this 3rd round. Actually, the 2nd and 3rd round for that matter. A couple huge knees really changed the course of the fight.
He did an amazing job.
Aos 13:21 do 3º round.
I mean, it's tremendous. Look, you can see the disappointment on him. He's sitting there with his coach and his mentor, Murakami. It's so hard when you fight that hard, you stay in it, and really, he never tapped out. He never gave up. But he didn't, he just didn't have what it was tonight to be the guy as good as Fabricio Werdum tonight.
Fabricio Werdum, it was a tough fight, an exhausting fight, but nonetheless a great win for him. He wins tonight in Jungle Fight. Give you a couple of looks. I mean, that right hand dropped him. Landed some great knees later on, and then wanted to finish him with the key lock and give you another couple of looks of the stand-up game. This was an exciting 3rd round. Werdum continued to pound on him, especially in the 2nd round. That's where he really changed the fight. And then the 3rd round, you see the barrage, the assault, lands the left, rights, and Gonzaga just had nothing to retaliate with.
No, he was just too tired. He was outmatched at this point. But a young kid, he's definitely going to fight again. He's definitely going to be a guy that we'll see again, in a future fight. And he'll do a great job. And here is just, finally Paulo had to step in there and stop it.
It wasn't easy, but it was a great win nonetheless for Fabricio Werdum tonight in Jungle. It's time for our next fight. You're taking a peek at Shinsuke Nakamura A true legend in Japan, and right now the Japanese fans that have come out here to Brazil clearly know what he is about and will clearly cheer for him tonight. You see him right there. They love what he can do in the ring.
He's been spending a lot of time in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're doing a great job, and he actually came down to the R1 Training Center, spent some time with us training and working on his AA takedowns and some of his skills, and he's doing a lot better. Still a little raw talent in his takedowns, but definitely has no lack of heart, and we'll see how he does tonight in the very game, Shane Eitner.
Yeah, he's very good with submissions, isn't he? He's really picked him up, and he can really advance him, can he?
Yeah, he really can. And the thing is that his submission game is very quick. It's very strong. He spent a lot of time working on it. He was a bit of an amateur wrestler in Japan, but didn't really, progress to the top of his game that he could have, and so his skills are a little bit slow. But he's doing okay. He's not doing too bad. And the weird thing is that his opponents walking out now, Shane Eitner and Nakamura, actually were training for a little while together at our academy until they found out they had to compete, and then they started coming in at different times. So this actually should be a pretty decent fight because they know quite a bit about each other.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's one thing, these two would have never met if they didn't come to your gym, so it's interesting that these guys are very familiar. How does that help you, or does it help you at all when you've trained with somebody before a fight?
It obviously helps you because you kind of know their timing, you know their rhythm. Every person has his own rhythm. The entire planet has its own rhythm, and then you learn the rhythm of your opponent very easily. And it makes it very simple when you go out there and all of a sudden, okay, when he does this, he's going to do this other thing right after it. It helps you with your timing to get out of stuff, but then, of course, you can be relying on that too much, and he could change his rhythm all of a sudden for the live go and catch you in something you weren't expecting and end the fight a lot quicker than you anticipate.
You take a peek at Shane coming in this ring. Give me a little scouting report on Shane Eitner.
Shane Eitner is an amazingly gifted athlete, incredibly strong. Brand new to the LA scene, originally from Texas, and kind of got caught up for that quick second in the LA nightlife, trying to make a little bit of money for himself. Started doing a lot of bodyguard work, a lot of security work, which took away from his training. You can tell that he spends a lot of time in the gym, but his cardio will always be in question. You really got to worry about whether or not his cardio is going to sustain the high pace that he always wants to keep during these fights. Good submission game, pretty flexible hips, but you got to watch out for his really stiff jab is about his best punch on his feet.
We are in the Amazon for Jungle Fight 1. Give you a peek at the tail of the tape, and Nakamura clearly the bigger fighter. You see Nakamura with the wrestling background. They're putting Eitner with the freestyle background. Both fighters come in the center of the ring to get final instructions from the referee. This should be a pretty entertaining battle. Nakamura, pretty decent with his submissions. He's gotten a lot better as he continues to learn and grow, and Eitner, be interesting to see what he has for him tonight. So here we go, underway for Shane Eitner from California and Shinsuke Nakamura making his debut in Jungle Fight. Real quick, look how quick that takedown was.
Well, good job on that double leg. Timed that second leg kick very well. Got in very nice. So Shane seemed to sit back a little bit on that kick, and of course Nakamura was able to take advantage of it.
Both these fighters, as Trig mentioned, training a little bit together. They know what to expect. It'll be interesting to see who can surprise who in this fight. Now Eitner just trying to buck him off, and he does so, but Nakamura does a good job of regaining position now in the side mount.
Good job. Nakamura's really using his wrestling ability to his advantage now. It's a really good job. He hasn't done this in the past. I'm very happy to see him start doing this a little bit more. Shane needs to get his feet planted on the ground, though, and he start turning his hips, otherwise there'll be a lot of trouble here pretty quick.
A lot of Japanese fans in the crowd here at the beautiful Amazon for Jungle Fight 1, the first ever Jungle Fight. Nice to have it for you right here on the Fight Network. Nakamura continues to work for position. Eitner doing a pretty good job in the scramble here.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad on the bottom. Like I said, I'd like to see him plant his feet a little bit more, trying to turn his hips a little bit better. Good job right there, but kind of gave Nakamura a north-south position.
Nakamura now going to start firing those knees into the body of Shane Eitner.
Shane doing a good job of keeping him away from his head. It doesn't hurt any less getting it in your shoulder, but if he hits you in the head, at least he doesn't have a shot of knocking you out.
And Nakamura, don't be surprised if he starts firing some more of those knees. Right now, content just trying to work for position. Eitner doing a nice job to get out of that position, and he's now trying to stand up. Gets to his feet and gets away. Good job.
Excellent work. And Shane did a good job of getting out of that.
Flying knee just barely misses, and nice job by Nakamura just shooting in and taking him back down.
I guess those last couple of weeks of working with my partner Vladimir Menashenko has definitely paid off. He finally has learned how to, in the middle of anything, just to rely on that double leg of his. He has such a strong double, just never uses it enough to really help him through his fights.
Nakamura, the bigger fighter, and that weight advantage right now working for him as he's getting some good takedowns and keeping Eitner really on the defensive this entire first round.
Yeah, Eitner hasn't a chance to really mount any kind of offense, a good significant style, but, it doesn't take very much. Eitner's got some pretty good game on the bottom. If he can get his hips a little bit, a little more motion in his hips, a little more free, and then all of a sudden this fight can be switched.
Shinsuke Nakamura spent a lot of time with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but you can see he's clearly not just the quote-unquote pro wrestler type. He's very good with submissions, very good with the ground game, and he continues to try to pound out Shane Eitner. Eitner, once again, now he's looking for maybe an arm, and
he's got a pretty good career from here, Shane does. He's caught a couple other guys, but I won't put my name in there. Okay, he caught me with it one time too. He does a pretty good job with it. He's so strong in this position. If he gets this arm out and away from Nakamura wants to keep it tucked underneath Shane's hip so he can't get it out. If it comes out, Nakamura could be in a world of pain right here.
And right now he's working hard to try to get it. Oh, nice job there by Nakamura. Wow. Just as I thought he was going to get it, Nakamura switched really positions, and now he's in the full mount. Wow, good move by Nakamura. He's trying to finish this fight.
Excellent work by Nakamura. Get ready to that mount, sitting up tall. Right now he's being sucked back down again. He did a good job, got a couple of really good strikes in there.
Nakamura trying to finish the fight. Now he continues to rain the blows. Eitner in huge trouble. He's got to get out of the full mount.
Eitner's got to start moving his hips. He's been really stiff tonight. It's unlike him. He needs to start bucking his hips up and down and get a little space. He's got to get his elbows back down on the ground.
Now he's got the arm. Nakamura trying to finish this with a key lock. Oh, man, Shane's in a lot of trouble. Shane's giving up his arm now. Now he's in a lot of trouble. Look out. Eitner's got to move his arm. It's being bent back. He's got to get out of this. Nakamura readjusting, and now he's got it tight. That's it. Forget about it.
Wow, great job by Nakamura to sign it. Shane was just overwhelmed this whole time. Obviously, Nakamura is a bigger fighter, but Shane's hips just didn't move well enough from the bottom. If he would have moved a little bit better, he would have had a better shot at this. But Nakamura, great job using his double and really, truly using the skills that he's been working on the last couple of weeks into this fight.
Nakamura improving his position, looking better and better, and great win for him tonight. Your winner.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Get a nice hand. You see the Japanese contingent that made the way from Japan to Brazil for the Amazon. And Shinsuke Nakamura, wow. He looked very impressive over a very game, but in the end, Shane Eitner could not match the power and strength of Nakamura. Both fighters come around. You see a good show of class there, some good sportsmanship between these two fighters. This is what you gotta love about the fight game, especially MMA. Both these guys, they can battle it out as hard as they want, but in the end, they get together, salute one another for the hard work they did. And Trick, take us through this first round. Nakamura, very impressive, wasn't he?
Nakamura doing a great job of using his double leg takedown. He's been working on for, like I said, the last couple of weeks. Shane did a great job here. It's one of the best things that Shane did is keep those knees from flying off. Came out there, had that flying knee on his feet with a great, Nakamura snuck right into a great takedown. Here, I think Nakamura could have finished the fight if he stayed up a little bit higher. Eventually went to the key lock, and here he is getting his hand raised.
Good win there for Shinsuke Nakamura. Gets a big win tonight in Jungle Fight. All right, time for our next fight. This is one of the featured bouts of the evening. Lyoto Machida taking on Stephan Bonnar. And you look at Lyoto, this guy, you know him very well, and this is one of the better fighters in the world today.
Yeah, Lyoto and I have actually been training for this fight together quite a bit. 5-time Brazilian national champion in karate, believe it or not. His father was one of the best practitioners in karate in the world has ever known. His brother also, who walks in behind him with a towel around his neck, is a 4-time national champion. They actually call Lyoto Little Inoki. He's actually the heir apparent to the Inoki training regime. Antonio Inoki's taken him underneath his wing, kind of what Inoki did with Fujita. He's kind of taken him underneath, trained him, going to take care of him, kind of, managing his career as far as the best places for him to be and what to do. And the thing about Lyoto is he's a southpaw. There's very few fighters in the world that can hit going backwards. He is one of them. I only know of 2 on the top of my hand that can actually hit backwards. Chuck Liddell being one of them, a great fighter that fights in North America, and then Lyoto, who can fight literally backpedaling and knock guys out with it. He has amazing hand speed, amazing snap kicks, and then he also is a high brown belt level in jiu-jitsu on the ground, so he's a very dangerous, well-rounded fighter.
He is a great fighter, and this should be a very entertaining matchup because he's going against the Carlson Gracie student and Stephan Bonnar.
Yeah, Stephan Bonnar, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Great guy. Very intense. Spends a lot of time, working on his jiu-jitsu game. Tough guy. He's one of those kind of guys that you will see in the future doing great things in the sport of MMA. He's the kind of kid that no matter what, win, lose, or draw, he always comes out, tries to go as hard as he can every time. Has a tremendous chin, has an amazing heart, always comes in great cardio power. Even when he's exhausted, he still stays in really good technical space. You got to watch out for his submission game on the bottom. He has a really good submission game on the bottom, and he has a pretty good takedown defense. The one thing he's got to watch out for with Lyoto is watching out for that left hand, but Lyoto needs to watch out for his left hook.
Should be a great battle here between Bonnar and Lyoto. And both fighters very skilled. And take a peek here at the tail of the tape. Both fighters pretty close as far as weight goes. Bonnar with the height advantage over Lyoto. And of course, as Trig mentioned, Lyoto's got that freestyle fighting. He's a great striker, very good on the ground. Bonnar, they list him as jiu-jitsu, but don't be surprised with his stand-up game. It's pretty good as well from all accounts. So this is the first time I've seen Bonnar up close and personal, but talking with Carlson, he basically says, hey, this kid will never quit. He'll continue to move forward, and that's his greatest asset.
Yeah. How was that conversation with Carlson? He seems such a great guy. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet on this trip, and he seems like to be such an amazing, nice guy. Is that the impression you got as well?
Absolutely, and he's one of the... if you want to learn from somebody with jiu-jitsu, that's the guy to learn from. Another Gracie name, and wow, already you can see the strength of Lyoto and how quick he is. And that's the thing Bonnar's going to have to deal with, is the quickness of Lyoto.
Even the Machado family and the cousins to the Gracies that live in LA, and then wow, good job. A lot of the other Gracie family always talk about how good Carlson is as an instructor, as a coach. He's just an amazing instructor.
Absolutely, and right now Bonnar's going to have to deal with his speed and quickness. That was the one thing his camp was a little bit worried about. Lyoto's so quick, you can see why. Just lands those kicks, snaps the punches. Got a lot of quickness.
And one thing is that Lyoto always is flat-footed, but he's so fast in that flat-footed position. Most guys aren't very well when they're flat on their feet. Lyoto just has this concept, this ability to move. Even though he's on his heels, he's still able to come back at you so quick.
That was a great combination by Bonnar, though. Snaps the head back of Machida. Great job by Bonnar.
Yeah, Machida keeps his hands a little bit low around his chest level. Not something I really like to see. I prefer to see him keep his hands up a little bit higher. But he never seems to really get hit because he's so evasive.
Yeah, he's got that long stride, and you can see how he stands. Oh, Bonnar then went up for a kick to the midsection and paid for it. Lyoto shows his strength, and Bonnar immediately clutches on there and grabs. Bonnar now got a cut under the left eye. Wow, that's in a bad place as well, because the cut's starting to already open pretty badly. That's a big cut.
That is really big. They got to stop and take a look at this cut real quick. It's pretty bad. Lyoto, that was just that straight left. He threw his Bonnar tried to step in, and they just threw everything into that left. Like I said before, it's just amazing that he has this kind of power.
Look here, right there. That's where it happened. Bonnar tried to land the kick, and he paid for it. Left, right. Really misses from Lyoto, but it was that first shot that landed that immediately split open Stephan Bonnar. Now back at the action, Bonnar, once again, he's going to have to deal with the quickness of Lyoto. I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to try to take this fight to the ground.
Yeah, the thing is with Lyoto is that he tends to move his hips. You got to get him pinned up. You got to get him pinned back against the ropes. There's no place to move his hips, and then you're going to be able to either hit him or take him down. But you got to stalk him. You got to get him against the corner. Got to get him into the ropes.
Another left lands and drops Bonnar. Wow, look at the power for Lyoto.
Lyoto's not following up. I'm kind of surprised. He's kind of hitting this kid and letting him go. He's not really not really doing much as far as trying to finish this fight off.
Tries to hit him with the spinning heel kick just a little bit short. Now in the clutch and let's go. Hey, when you're talking about moving the hips, as far as the stand-up games, I understand moving hips when you're on the ground, but talk a little bit more about that when you're standing up.
Well, you see how Lyoto's hips move linear. They move 2 and 3 foot forward and 2 and 3 foot back. That's so that Stephan can't hit him. And the other thing that Lyoto does is that when he throws his punches, he turns his hips. If he throws his left hand or his left foot, his left hip comes forward. If he throws his right hand, his right foot, his right hip comes forward. All your power really isn't in your hands, even though we do talk about, if you talk about boxing, heavy hands. This guy has heavy hands. Like Oscar De La Hoya has some heavy hands, or Trinidad has some heavy hands. You're talking about the hip power. They're able to generate power through these hips. Lyoto was able to do it in any position, and that's why it's so amazing when guys are backing up, because just trying to back up and turn your hip forward to throw a punch. Lyoto can do that. It's a very exceptional skill, and which is the reason why he's able to, to hit guys so often, so quickly. His hip motion is just absolutely one of the best right now in the sport of MMA.
Trick breaking it down so well, and right now you see the clutch and grabbing, and once again, Stephan Bonnar, he's got the cut, he's got a bloody nose, and the thing is, Lyoto popped him again in that cut. You hear his corner telling him, come on, you got to push the pace, and you see that cut, and that's going to be the problem right now, is Lyoto's really focusing in on that cut.
Oh, you see right there, Ryan, he's also got a nose, and Lyoto hit him in the nose, so he's got, not only has that cut, but now his nose is bleeding as well, so he's got 2 issues going on.
Yeah, he's going to have a tough time. I mean, I almost think it's time now that he's got to try to go for the takedown, because Lyoto, but it's one thing to try for the takedown, it's another executing it, because you mentioned the quickness of Lyoto, very evident.
Yeah, obviously, if you take a bad shot, you're just a little bit too far away, Lyoto's going to be gone, and as you stand back up again, he's going to catch you twice. So you really got, like I said before, Stephan needs to do a better job of stalking Lyoto down, because Lyoto tends to be defensive. Get him against the ropes, get him into a corner where he can't really back away, and then he's going to have a better shot of taking him down.
Gracie Kim trying to work on that cut, and they have done a pretty good job. But Lyoto now, you can see he's trying to strike and trying to get that cut or even hurt the nose further. So Bonnar back in the clinch. Both guys here are trying to maintain position or get position. Oh, Machida throws him, but Bonnar, to his credit, really wouldn't go anywhere.
Good job. Good, Stephan Bonner's got some really good athletic ability for his size and for his body type. Whoa,
that was a great right hand landed by Bonnar. How about that? And a nice knee as well. Bonnar now coming back.
Well, he rocked Lyoto a little bit. Lyoto's getting a little desperate. You can see him start to reach. See how he's stepping in and clinching now? Those punches is what you want to do to your opponent. That forced Lyoto to change his game plan.
Bonnar, oh man, he's split up even more now. And now, it's the other side.
Ryan,
Look at that.
Is bad. This is really bad. This is a bad cut.
It might have been a clash of heads, but now it's the other side that has a cut. So Bonnar's in he's got a lot of problems. He's got a cut on each side now under his eye.
Ryan, this is a bad cut. It was a huge gash.
And now they're going to stop the fight. Oh my goodness. What bad luck for Bonnar.
Bonnar he is so irritated right now. He is so mad.
Just when Stephan Bonnar was really settling down, he is fired up. He can't believe what happened. Oh man,
jeez, that's a good
horrible
stoppage.
Cut, man.
That's a good stoppage. That's just dangerous for the fighter. That's a really good stoppage. They've got to stop something like that. There's no reason to have any more damage.
I want to see if it was a punch or heads. Let's take a look here. You see, okay, maybe it was the kick. I'm not sure, but there's the shot for the other eye. Yeah, that was the first cut on the eye. This was a little bit earlier on in the fight. There's a good left hand there that dropped Bonnar early on as well. Well, it's hard to see if it was... Well, there's a good punch, too. It's hard to tell what it was, though. Yeah, I don't know if it was a cut or a headbutt, but either way, boy, what a tough loss for Stephan Bonnar.
I know, that kid is so good. We're going to see, he's still real young yet. We're going to see a lot more of him. Tremendous heart. It's a tremendous heart. Good look there at Lyoto.
Lyoto gets another win. He's been so impressive. Continues his impressive assault, this time against Stephan Bonnar in Jungle Fight. Time to go up to the heavyweight division for Leopoldo Montenegro, taking on Mark Schultz, and what should be a good battle between a couple big heavyweights. And you get a look at Montenegro coming out. That's a good-looking hat there, Trig.
It's a good-looking headdress he's wearing from the local chieftains. He's obviously a local guy, born and raised here in the Amazon, and very proud of his heritage.
You mentioned the Amazon. There's been a lot of interesting things to happen here to the Amazon as of late, isn't there?
Yeah, we're at the Aru Amazon Towers, which is basically where they film Survivor Amazon, for those of you that watch reality television, which of course I do too. This is where the cast and crew stayed, so it's a beautiful, amazing thing. Actually, I went out gator hunting last night. A little gator hunting. Got to hold me a little baby croc in my hand. It was kind of nice.
That makes one of us. And Montenegro, we mentioned that he's a very good fighter here from Brazil, facing a very good fighter from the United States who has an Olympic background, and Mark Schultz.
Yeah, a little bit. Mark Schultz, a three-time national champ from the best university in the planet, the University of Oklahoma.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Weber State.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
He's also a 1984 Olympic champion as well. Mark Schultz is, one of the best wrestlers the U.S. has ever had. Absolutely amazing. Head coach right now over at BYU University. Great, amazing takedowns. His wrestling is never going to be in question. His cardio will never be in question. What will be in question is his submission offense and defense. He tends to be so strong that he powers out of a lot of things really late, and his striking ability might be a little question. He's a little bit older too. Age is a little bit of a factor now, but he's such a strong man. He's such a strong individual. It's going to be very difficult to get this guy to the ground very quickly. Montenegro is an absolute submission artist. This man is just absolutely amazing in submission. So this is going to be a great battle of basically grappling versus wrestling kind of thing. We'll see who has the better submission offense or defense as we get to the ground.
Mark Schultz had success in the early UFCs, and you mentioned it. We'll talk more about that in a moment.
Apresentações. Leopoldo Montenegro, 1,90 m, 110 quilos. Jiu-Jitsu. Tricampeão mundial de
As they're introducing the fighters, let's give you a look at the tail of the tape. Mark Schultz, one of the few times he's the significantly lighter fighter.
Yeah, I know. He's given up every bit of 40 pounds here, which is a little bit strange for him, but it's okay.
UFC,
so strong.
duas vezes campeão.
Mark Schultz, you get a good look at him. He actually fought in the early UFCs, had a lot of success, won a tournament in the UFC. Everyone thought that his career was ahead of him, but as Trick mentioned, part of the teaching curriculum at BYU, Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints didn't seem too interested in him fighting. So at the time he gave it up, but after talking more and once people understood what he truly was doing, and this is a sport. You got to remember the early 90s, there was such a misconception about what mixed martial arts was. Once the people at BYU understood what it was, and once the sport has evolved, Mark Schultz is now back in the fight game. So it'll be interesting to see how he does against Leopoldo Montenegro.
Yeah, Mark actually is about 10 years too early for the sport. Now that everybody kind of knows it's a real sport and it's not just some flash in the night pan and some barroom brawl. It really is a sport, and you have to be tremendous athletes to do this. It actually would have helped out and benefited BYU if the head wrestling coach was out there on pay-per-views, winning tournaments or winning matches, and then recruiting. I think they would have got some of the better guys that go up to the BYU. It is an incredible campus, just absolutely beautiful. I love it up there. If they might get a chance to get up to Utah, which obviously lately hasn't been too often, but it's a great place.
As a graduate of Weber State, I'm actually from that area, seen that area. It's a beautiful place. I can give you a ringing endorsement to it. You're absolutely correct. Interesting about Schultz, you mentioned the time away. It's interesting that he's coming back to fight now, because you mentioned it. I mean, this guy really could have been dominant in the sport, but gave it up for years. Coming back now at this stage of his career, Trig, how much ring rust really does he have?
Well, he had a couple injuries too that he was trying to heal, as well as the ring rust. So he's got some severe injuries he got from his years and years of wrestling that he's trying to deal with, as well as this ring rust. And ring rust will be a huge factor. I mean, your timing is off a little bit. You kind of forget what it's like to be in there. Your nerves are up a little bit. And plus, with Mark, he's giving up like I said, he's giving up every bit of 40 pounds. So it's going to be interesting to see how he pulls this off.
Now, his opponent, Leopoldo Montenegro, very, very good at submissions, as you can imagine. And that's the one thing he's going to have to look out for. The wrestlers against the jiu-jitsu players, if the fight goes to the ground, which instinctively wrestlers like to take the fight to the ground, he's got to make sure he does not get caught.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, he's got to be really careful not to get... Oh, great high crouch. Jeez.
Wow. But I tell you, Montenegro, you mentioned it, he outweighs him by almost 40 pounds, but he still gets him down. Wow. Man,
that's a good job. That's just hustle and heart and dedication on Mark to make sure that this thing goes to the ground. Mark just finally decided he wants this on the ground. That's where he's going to make it happen. And now he's got to be careful. Uh-oh.
Now Now he's in a little trouble here.
Yep.
He's in a little trouble here. Triangle choke is locked in, and Schultz is in a lot of trouble.
Oh, no. Mark's
He's
taking
in
his
big
butt
trouble.
down. Butt down, head up. Mark has to get his butt down, otherwise he's going to get finished in here.
Oh, he's trapped. I don't think he can get out of this. And that's it. Unbelievable. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Montenegro, great job. Sunk that in. Was very patient. Didn't get rattled on any of the takedown attempts.
Montenegro snuck in the triangle choke submission. Look at Mark Schultz. He can't even believe it.
Wow, that's that. You got to give that one up to Rig Rust. I mean, there's no way that he would have powered out of that normally. I mean, he's got his head, his head is down, his butt was up in that. You can't counter triangle like that. You've got to get butt down, head up. You've got to get your face as far away from his hips as you can to try to get that out.
Leopoldo Montenegro pulls off a huge upset tonight in Jungle Fight. Wow, what a huge win for him. The Brazilian lands a couple good knees early, and Schultz would come back, gets the great takedown. But once again, you got to watch out for the submission expert whose legs went right up the side and ended up with the triangle choke. Chokes him out. Wow.
Geez, that's absolutely amazing. Mark is such a strong individual. You can see here how his back is flat. He needs to have his butt down, to be able to get out of this. And now his head's coming down. And once his head comes down with a guy like Montenegro, when it locked on, there's nothing you can do but tap.
Trick quickly with the triangle choke. What does that do?
It basically what it does, it cuts off the air as well as the blood supply. It cuts off your ability to breathe as well as the blood supply to your brain, so it causes you to pass out.
A very dejected Mark Schultz walks off, but a very happy Leopoldo Montenegro, your winner tonight. Time for our next fight, folks. I'm doing this one by myself. Why? Because you see Rico Chiapparelli coming out, and that ugly guy Frank Trigg is in his corner. So I will be doing this fight by myself. Trigg in the corner of Rico Chiapparelli, one of the most accomplished wrestlers you will see. He's making his way to this Jungle Fight ring. You see Trigg in the very back with the hat, and he spent a lot of time training Rico Chiapparelli. This is Rico Chiapparelli's first fight in MMA. It's hard to believe because Chiapparelli, once again, a national champion wrestler, very, very good wrestler. And a lot of people are surprised that they did not see him earlier in his MMA career. Gives a high five to my broadcast partner, and he will make his way in the ring for Jungle Fight. This should be an outstanding matchup. Rico Chiapparelli, as I mentioned, not only an accomplished wrestler, but he's got pretty good hands.
Luiz Pantera.
And you hear his opponent, Luiz Pantera, coming into Queen We Will Rock You. And hopefully, he's hoping tonight he does not get rocked by Chiapparelli. Great atmosphere here tonight in Brazil, and this Brazilian's got the home field advantage of sorts. You're looking at Luiz Pantera from right here in Brazil. New to the game of MMA. He's only been a part of it for a couple years. Worked a lot on his ground game, and his stand-up game continues to develop. But he's a very tough guy in his own right, so it's going to be a very interesting battle between really two newcomers. You look at Rico Chiapparelli. He's been around the fight game for a long time. Wrestled at Iowa University, was an NCAA champion. Also wrestled internationally, became a World Cup champion. And you think of the great names that he's worked out with. We'll tell you more about that in a second here.
No corner azul, Rico Chiapparelli, dos Estados Unidos. 1,87 m, 85 quilos. Raw Combat. Título US Champion, campeão americano dos Estados Unidos. No corner vermelho, Luiz Pantera, do Rio de Janeiro.
You see the tail of the tape. Rico has the advantage as far as the weight goes and the height for that matter.
Boy, Paraguay.
And talking with Rico before the fight, he just said he didn't know a heck of a lot about him. That's the tough part. When you have two guys that are pretty new to the MMA game, there's not a whole lot you can find out about any opponent. Obviously, Pantera knows about Chiapparelli from his wrestling days. Rico Chiapparelli, we mentioned not only was he a wrestler at the University of Iowa, NCAA champion, but he also was a World Cup champion overseas. Wrestled with Dan Gable, legendary name in the wrestling industry, no doubt about it. And you see the knees right away from Rico Chiapparelli. Talking with Trigg, who's in the corner right now of Chiapparelli, was telling me that the thing he really likes about Rico is he is well-rounded. I mean, he's a wrestler, no doubt about it, which gives him some great positions, including right now, trying to lock in that front guillotine choke, but he says his hands are good. He can let his hands go. His knees have improved greatly. He's just become a more complete fighter, not just a wrestler. Now he puts him down in right-left combinations. Good job by Chiapparelli. Continues to hammer, and you see that aggressive style. Reminds me a lot of Frank Trigg, to be honest. I mean, Trigg will get you in these positions and just continue to assault you, and that's what Chiapparelli does. The entire R1 gym run by Chiapparelli, as well as my partner Frank Trigg, and Chiapparelli is really the ringleader of that gym. Just a tremendous trainer. Trains not only Frank Trigg, but he trains Vladimir Matyshenko, who many of you who are familiar with MMA have seen him fight all over the world, whether it was in the UFC or MMA. So the R1 gym, a very good gym with a lot of quality fighters. Chiapparelli back on the ground and continues to work here. Rico going to use a little bit of his wrestling background now to really keep Luiz Pantera at bay. And you see the knees coming in. Boy, Chiapparelli very active in this first round, and Pantera again in more trouble. Pantera trying to do anything he can. Now he's going to try to get to his feet. Chiapparelli locking in that choke, and Pantera just had to get down to get out of it. And once again, look at the pounding. Rico Chiapparelli continues to pound. Luiz Pantera steps over, hits him with a few more rights. You would never know this is the debut for Rico Chiapparelli. He continues to look very impressive and continues to hammer right hands. Pantera's got to get out of there. You hear Frank Trigg say, take your time with this. Pace yourself. All right, referee's going to have them stand up now, back to their feet. Boy, a very good start for Rico Chiapparelli, former All-American wrestler, looking very good here in Jungle Fight. Pantera snaps that left-handed jab. Pantera looks like he has a pretty decent stand-up game. We haven't really seen him much because, oh, good right hand, rocks him there. Good right by Chiapparelli. I don't even think he knew he hurt him. You can still see the legs aren't there for Pantera. Wow. Chiapparelli sizing up Pantera. Nice jab again, lands. Good start for Rico Chiapparelli. As the MMA rules, as we always have, 3 5-minute rounds. Chiapparelli, nice knee inside. Another knee inside. Continues with the knees. Pantera in some trouble trying to move out of the way. And this is a dominant round. I mean, this is getting close to maybe a 10-8 round, the way Chiapparelli is really dominating Luiz Pantera. Another knee lands by Chiapparelli. Pantera's just been ineffective right now. Oh man, another right-left combination by Rico Chiapparelli. Gets around now, starts hammering more right hands. Referee watching very closely here. Pantera, the Brazilian, in a lot of trouble. 1 minute left in this round. Chiapparelli moving around. Oh boy, nice. Gonna try to sneak in maybe a rear naked choke. Can't get it the way the angle he's at right now. You see the blood coming a little bit out of the mouth now of Pantera. You see the cut under the right eye. The knees continue to come from Rico Chiapparelli. Referee will stop him. Boy, I tell you what, this referee's making it a quick start again. He's not messing around. Pantera really having a tough time even scoring, and now he's going to try to go for the takedown, which I don't think is the smartest move when you're going against a former All-American wrestler. I don't think you'll be able to take him down. Stand-up might be his best shot, and right now he lands one right, and the local crowd loves what they see. Haven't had too much to cheer about here in this fight. And that's the end of the first round, a dominating round for Rico Chiapparelli. Wow. So we start round 2. Luiz Pantera coming out firing away. His corner motivated him to come out with some great strikes, and he came out a lot more aggressive than he was in round 1. Chiapparelli looks like he'll go for the takedown and gets it. Right now you see the open butterfly guard there by Pantera. trying to keep Rico Chiapparelli off him. You see the knees and the sides right now. That does not allow Chiapparelli, he's not able to pass. You know, some people ask me, well, you know, why doesn't he move up and just start hitting him in the head? Well, it's the butterfly guard. Butterfly guard, you keep it inside your opponent's waist. He's not able to advance and get very many strikes, as you see Braga and others in the crowd. Good right hands landed by Rico Chiapparelli. Short right hands effective for him. Rico trying to pass the guard right now, trying to get his legs free. Pantera just brings him closer so he can't get hit now. You see Rico Chiapparelli got some small welts above the left eye now. He took some shots at the beginning of that round. By far the most effective strike so far by Pantera. The referee will stand him right back up. And I think if I'm Pantera, I want to keep this fight standing up. Pantera trying to size up Chiapparelli. Nice jab there by Chiapparelli. He does have the length and he does have the reach. If you're Chiapparelli, you probably just want to stand and box for a while if you can. Keep him at the end of your punches. Right now, you see Luiz Pantera, he's having a tough time getting inside of Chiapparelli's reach. Wild right misses, another right misses. Chiapparelli continues to fire the shots. Nice shot at the midsection. Now both guys in the clinch. A nice takedown there. Great experience there by Rico Chiapparelli. Not panicking, just continuing to move forward and gets another takedown. Pantera's got to be frustrated right now because you can see him breathing a lot more heavily now, and the referee comes in and tells him to push the pace. They started out with a ferocious pace in the first round, so I know both guys getting a little bit more tired here. Rico Chiapparelli trying to hit him with the left hand. Chiapparelli's really slowing down in this second round. I mean, he was on fire the first round, and I think he got a little frustrated because he could not finish Pantera, and sometimes you just punch yourself out, and I think that could be part of the problem Rico Chiapparelli's having here in the second round. He hit him with everything, and Pantera survived it all. Continues with short left hands. Rico Chiapparelli looking very impressive in his jungle fight debut. It's hard to believe he's never fought MMA. It just is surprising to me. I mentioned he's been training Vladimir Matyashenko, who has plenty of experience. He's been working a lot with Frank Trigg, one of the top 5 fighters right now in 170, actually number 3 in the world right now. Trigg getting ready for his first shot against UFC champion Matt Hughes. That's coming up very soon. But Rico Chiapparelli, he's been the trainer of both those gentlemen as well as other fighters, Ken Goura and many others. But it's Chiapparelli looking impressive. It's just amazing. And you know, you look at Rico now, I mean, he's closing in on 40 years of age, and so I guess that's has a lot to do with it. But I'm telling you what, he looks so impressive. Right now he's trying to land a front choke on Pantera. He continues to try to smother Pantera. Pantera needs to get out of this. He's trying to move out of it. Now he gets out. Wow, that was close. Pantera's been able to survive. Now Chiapparelli landed some right hands. A slow, methodical choke there by Rico Chiapparelli. And both these fighters are very tired right now. I'm telling you, look at Pantera. He just, that last choke really sucked all the wind out of him. And now you see Rico Chiapparelli getting the full mount, trying to finish this fight once again. And the only problem he's got is coming to the end of the round. Here goes Rico Chiapparelli again. Lefts, rights, continues to pepper him. Lefts and rights, the referee watching very closely. Continues to fire those right hands. And that's the end of the round again. Rico Chiapparelli unlucky. He's been able to get superior position at the end of round 1 and round 2. And Luiz Pantera is living right. In trouble once again at the end of that round, and somehow survived and saved by the bell. The referee was about ready to step in. You know, you can hear when there's 10 seconds left in the round, and I'm sure that was in the back of the referee's mind because a lot of people might have stopped it. Chiapparelli was landing the shots, and he would have to stop because the round was at the end. And you hear right now, Pantera getting a lot of talk here, trying to help him out. Trig right now says, just take him down and finish him out. All right, it's going to be interesting to see this final round between Rico Chiapparelli and Luiz Pantera. Been a great round. I mean, bottom line, Rico Chiapparelli's up 2-0. I mean, there's no doubt in anybody's mind that he's been dominating this fight. Now it's going to be up to him if he just wants to kind of ride it out and just get by in the third round, or if he wants to try for the finish. I mean, both fighters got to be so tired as we enter this third and final round, and here he comes again, Pantera. This is the way he started the second round. Comes out firing with rights and lefts. And Chiapparelli, nice job of snapping that jab. Pantera was closing the distance early on, but then Rico got the space because he's got that nice jab, snapping that left jab out there. Pantera wants to land the uppercut. Rico Chiapparelli wants to survive. He eats a right hand. Now he's going to try to take him down, no doubt about it. When you're winning this fight, you can't afford to be getting knocked out this late in the game. Pantera pulls guard, which is fine for Rico Chiapparelli. He would rather have this fight on the ground and try to grind it out. Luiz Pantera needs a submission or knockout or some kind of way to end this fight. He is down on the judges' scorecards big. I mean, that first round you could have scored it a 10-8 round, really. I mean, it was that dominant. There was no knockdowns, and usually it's a little bit different than boxing, because in boxing, if there's a knockdown, you know, it's an automatic 10-8 round. But in MMA, that's not necessarily the case. You can get a knockdown, but it doesn't mean it's just a 10-8. I mean, you have to earn it, but Chiapparelli had him hurt. Had a couple different submissions applied. But in any case, Rico Chiapparelli in firm control of this fight, and now he just needs to try to keep Luiz Pantera off of him. Pantera needs to get aggressive, needs to get a takedown, needs to try to finish the fight, but the biggest problem he's got, he's trying to out-wrestle the wrestler. That's not going to work. Once again, Rico Chiapparelli, All-American wrestler from the University of Iowa, wrestled with Dan Gable, was a World Cup champion overseas. Spent many years doing that, taking people down. And you can hear it. Rico took him right into his corner, which was smart. But now he's got to move him out. He'll move him to the center of the ring. Chiapparelli will move in. They're trying to get him positioned correctly. You don't want to give, once you move to the center of the ring, you don't want to give up the position you were in. And that's what they were doing. The referee was making sure that they were in the exact same position where they started just a few minutes ago. Chiapparelli, those short right-hand punches. You know, and at this point, it's a double whammy for Pantera. Not only is he in a bad position, and look at Rico now. He's trying to do an arm triangle choke again. He's close, but he doesn't quite have it. You see the referee watching very closely. Rico Chiapparelli, he wants to finish the fight. But I was going to say it's kind of a double whammy for Pantera, because not only is he in a bad position, but he doesn't have much time. The referee's standing them up. Referee has not spent much time letting these guys battle on the ground. He wants to see them fired up. Pantera's only shot is either for a knockout or a submission. He's got to do it quickly. Not much time left in this third and final round. Now he goes for a double leg takedown. Rico has 1 minute to survive it. Hey, he almost got the takedown. Right now, Chiapparelli just kind of holding on. I love what Pantera's trying to do. He's trying to get him down any way he can. Right now, Chiapparelli getting some instructions from his corner, just telling him to relax. You see Frank Trigg in the background there, just telling him, relax, let the fight come to you. And then he just reversed it. Nice job by Rico Chiapparelli.
Right hand on his face. Hit him with the right hand. Sit back and just hammer fist.
Right now, you hear the corner. Use your hammer fist.
30 seconds.
Under 30 seconds left in the fight. Rico's tired. I mean, he just laid down for a moment, trying to get a breath. Mixed martial arts, for those of you who have not competed in this sport, it is absolutely grueling. Maybe some of you have messed around with boxing and you know how tired you can get, or some of you have competed maybe in wrestling and understand how much energy you expend. Imagine doing both for 15 minutes. Find out what you got in a hurry, and that's the end of the round. Great fight. It went to a decision, but I tell you what, there was many times where Chiapparelli looked like he was going to finish the fight. But nonetheless, that's a nice way to start it out. You see his team coming in there, and you see a dejected Luiz Pantera. He worked hard. He gave it all he could, but in the end, it was not enough. You see Rico Chiapparelli coming around, shaking hands. Very good fight for Rico Chiapparelli. A very dejected Luiz Pantera. Give you another look here. I mean, this was the beginning of the fight. First round, and it looked like Pantera was about done. Only problem, you see the knees later on in the round. The only problem is the round ended. It was Chiapparelli continued the assault. And let's hear the official decision.
Decisão dos jurados. Unânime vencedor, Rico Chiapparelli.
There he is, not a surprise to anybody. Rico Chiapparelli really dominated this fight from start to finish. And for the first time in his career, he fights in MMA and he wins in MMA. A very dominating performance by Rico Chiapparelli. Right now he's up getting ready for an interview. Let's go up and listen in with Rico Chiapparelli, your winner tonight in Jungle Fight.
Rico, congratulations. Hey, you fought great for an old man. No, just kidding.
Age caught up with me. Fucking read after the first period.
No, seriously, man. You've trained the biggest names in the game, and you just did what you had to do. But why debut? Why debut at 39?
Why not? I thought that this was a beautiful event here in the Amazon. I love it here. I'm an activist or a man in harmony with nature, not with machines. Waligi, Mr. Inoki, there wasn't a better place to do it. Maybe my first and last one.
Congratulations, man. You did great. Very nice seeing you again.
All right, welcome back to our next fight. A couple of heavyweights getting ready to do battle. Mestre Fumaka taking on Ricardo Morais, and this would be a great matchup between two big heavyweights. You want to see how big?
Vamos receber Riscado.
Get a good look at Ricardo Morais. Very scary individual making his way to this Jungle Fight ring. And speaking of scary individuals, he's back in the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Trigg. Trigg, you got to be happy the way Rico performed.
Gotta tell you what, I've never been more nervous in my entire freaking life. They absolutely killed me. I'd rather fight than have to corner him ever again.
I was going to say that as a fighter, you control your own destiny when you're supporting somebody. I mean, you're kind of on pins and needles, aren't you?
Yeah, it was so bad. I'm still a little bit shaky from it. We do a little sorry, it took me so long to get back over here. We do a little debriefing in the back. He actually had to debrief me instead of me debriefing him. It was horrible.
Well, good.
uses length at all.
Ricardo Morais é do Rio de Janeiro. Tem 2 metros de altura.
All right, as they're introducing both fighters, let's show you tonight's tail to tape. And the one thing that stands out is the weight advantage for Morais.
You know, 125 kilos to 90 kilos, I mean, that's a tremendous amount of weight difference. 40, 50, 70, 75 pounds almost. Wow. And my math is bad, so it might be more than that.
Big fighters, Morais. And, you know, once again, you mentioned it, this is going to be a tough uphill climb right away for Mestre Fumaka. It'll be interesting to see what his game plan is. I mean, look at these two guys. I mean, this... it's unbelievable.
And mind you that Fumaka is every bit of 6'1", just so you understand. You know, both these guys make me look like a little midget running around.
This is going to be an interesting battle. The strategy, that's what I want to see what Fumaka wants to try to accomplish, because I don't even know if he knows what he wants to do.
Fumaka has got to get inside. He can't be sitting outside with a guy like Morais, because it doesn't do you any good. He's just too tall.
Morais just picking him apart. Already got him hurt. Left-right combination puts him down. Wow, that was quick. And Fumaka now he's going to have the big fella all over him. He's going to, I mean, this is just a bad start and a bad position to be in.
When you're giving up this much weight to a guy that is athletic and is mobile, you don't want to be underneath him. This is a really bad position for Fumaka, because all that's going to happen is he's going to get rained down on as soon as Morais gets any space at all. Fumaka
was actually supposed to face another opponent, but his opponent got injured. And Morais did not have an opponent, so they put these two together. So this is kind of a last-minute replacement. If you're asking why there's such a big size differential, that's the reason why. And to Fumaka's credit, he still accepted the fight. He may think better of it in a few minutes if it continues to go this way.
He was going to fight someone that's actually about 92 kilos compared to his 90 kilos. So it's going to be a lot closer in weight. And then he's like, well, what the heck? Why not? I'm already here. I've already trained. I'm already ready to go. I might as well fight this guy and see what happens. And, you know, it is a fight. Anything can happen in his fights. You know, it is a possibility. He could have knocked Morais out, because Morais, you know, he's not known for his incredible stand-up. So he definitely had a chance of getting there and hitting him in the head. But obviously right now, not going to Fumaka's plan.
Yeah, you see Morais trying to work and try to get in the mount position. Looks like he's got one of his legs caught, still trying to move away, and right now he's just putting all of his weight on Fumaka. Morais now he's got it. This is not a good position to be in if you're Ricardo Morais. And now he stands up, the big fella's going to start raining blows, and this is going to be over very quickly. Fumaka is not doing anything to defend himself. Morais is having an easy time now. Oh, that's it. He knocked him out. He's stunned.
Wow.
I mean, those weren't even like big shots, but you see how powerful Morais is.
He knocked him out basically with a hammer fist. That is incredible.
Man.
That basically is all he basically did a tricep push down onto his face and knocked him out. That's amazing. The strength of Ricardo Morais is incredible. Look, he's still down. Fumaka is still on the canvas. That's just amazing.
Well, Fumaka took this fight on short notice, and I'm not sure if he wishes he did now.
He needs to take that oxygen, because if he doesn't, bring the oxygen over here to me, because I'm having a hard time breathing after watching that beatdown.
Man, Fumaka, the giant, impressive win tonight. You see what happened. I mean, the power of his punches. I mean, the first couple shots already hurt Fumaka, who went down, and then a little bit later, you see what happened.
You know, I mean, Morais, he is just so big. He's so strong. He's so powerful. I mean, he gave Coleman a problem when they fought each other in Japan. He's just a tremendous athlete. You know, Coleman couldn't even do anything with him. This is back when Coleman was hugely in his prime, and just running through everybody. Morais, you know, gave him the best fight of his life, and it's just amazing how big and strong this guy is. I'd love to see more. I wish he'd fight more often in some bigger shows.
Ricardo Morais looking very impressive, winning in tonight's jungle fight right here on the Fight Network. Time for our next fight of the evening. Evangelista Santos, they call him Cyborg, making his way to the ring, and he's going to be facing Lucas Lopez. And the one thing about Cyborg, Trick, he can really strike, can he?
Yeah, he's got amazing hand speed, amazing power in both fists, and he's not scared to use them at all, coming from that shootbox team. You know, those guys are just incredible with the Muay Thai advantage. he will kick you in any position, anytime, and he jumps so high with his flying knees, and he can kick so hard with his leg kicks. I've actually seen him drop guys just with leg kicks alone, just kicking guys in the thighs. He's actually stopped fights with that.
He's a very good fighter. He's just got to be consistent, a little more consistent, because you talk with those that are close to him, they say he's great, he's got the tools, but he needs to train harder, and his mental game needs to be a little bit more sharp, because there's been times in his career he's lost some quote-unquote silly fights that he should have won, and focus is the main key for that.
Yeah, one of the things we're working on a lot right now, and he has, you'll see him here in a second.
Lucas Lopes.
He has a great American wrestler with him by the name of Dario, who moved to Brazil, actually started doing takedowns, what have you. Dario's in his corner for tonight's fight, so you know for sure he's been working a lot on his takedowns, offense and defense.
And right now, one of his cornermen taking the picture, getting ready. This should be an entertaining matchup. Lucas Lopes making his way to the Jungle Fight ring, and Lucas Lopes from right here in Brazil. So you got two Brazilians getting ready to do battle. And if you're Lucas Lopes, what would you tell him, knowing what Cyborg brings to the ring?
Take him down, got to get him on his back. If you're on your back, you're still in a dangerous position, because he can pop up and start raining down strikes on you. Got to use your jiu-jitsu ability. Get in there, use your wrestling takedowns. Get in there, take this guy down to the ground immediately. Get him on his back with the most susceptible. You can't be with a guy that's as strong a striker as Cyborg on your feet, and you don't want to be on your back with him either, because even though you have a good chance of a submission, the problem is that he can sit up at any time and just start throwing down, start rolling down fists, or stand up and start kicking you.
Evangelista Cyborg. E Uberlândia, Minas Gerais, tem 1,77 m de altura, 90 quilos.
Give you a look at the tail of the tape between these two fighters. Lopes just a little bit heavier, and he's actually got the reach as well. But you see the two differences, Muay Thai versus Jiu-Jitsu. And as Trick said, Lucas really needs to get this fight to the ground, because Cyborg, one of the better Muay Thai guys you'll ever see. The other interesting part about this is, you see Muay Thai and you say, well, if he gets down the ground, he's going to be in trouble. But Cyborg and the Shoebox team, they work very hard on their jiu-jitsu, don't they, Trick?
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, you get guys like Vanderlei Silva and the others that come from that group, and they're amazing jiu-jitsu guys as well. You can take a good look at Cyborg's stare. He's a little bit of a little unhinged man a bit.
He likes to intimidate, no doubt about it. He's got the look, and he has that crazy look in his eye, and right away, look at Lucas Lopes taking the fight to Cyborg to start it off. Trying to get the takedown right away. Good sprawl there by Cyborg.
Wow, great throw off, too. Just underhooked and basically just threw Lopes right off him.
Cyborg wants to try to pass, and he does now. Landed a quick right hand, and Lucas Lopes right back up. Tries to take Cyborg down. You see the strength of Cyborg.
Cyborg's such an amazing athlete, got great leg balance, and that's one thing about Muay Thai practitioners. They seem to have really good balance because the way they do their flying knees and their high head kicks, they seem to have really good balance. Cyborg's one of those guys too that's going to be very difficult to take him down at the beginning. Got to get him a little tired first, and he'll start coming down a lot easier.
Cyborg gets out of, obviously he does not want to be on the ground. He was able to get right back up, looking for his opportunity to strike in Jungle Fight.
We'll start to see, yeah, there it is. We're starting to see him kick here very soon at Lopez's legs. This doesn't seem like it does much, but when Lopes gets back to his feet, it's going to be very hard for him to be able to maintain his balance because his legs are going to be so sore.
Lopes very content just to stay on his back. The jiu-jitsu fighters, they love to be on their back so they can, execute their jiu-jitsu, can land so many different submissions from your back. Cyborg, of course, wants this fight to stand up. I'm surprised he doesn't just kind of let him up and make him stand up.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, though. We already see the welt starting to build up on Lopez's legs for these kicks he's taking. I mean, there's some really hard kicks. Oh, good job by Lopes trying to mount a little bit of an offense, but you're right, man. He's got to move in. He's got to slide in a little bit. He can't just lay here. He needs to get as close as possible to Cyborg so you can't kick him or hit him anymore.
And once again, you continue to see those leg kicks. And there he gets up quickly. How quick was that?
Jeez, good job by Lopes. Now let's see what he can do with his hand skills.
Lopes very quick as the lights literally go out for a half second, come back on, and go out again.
Sorry about that. I keep hitting the switch. I apologize. Sorry.
Trig, watch your hands. Here we go. We're back. We're going to show you some replays here of what happened earlier on. You see the high kick, and later Lopes was able to get up, does it in quick fashion, waits for his time, Cyborg, another good leg kick. You mentioned, Trey, those leg kicks can take a toll after a while.
Yeah, and you can hear them. They're just popping in there. He's just snapping. He's kicking right on the thighs. Good job by Lopez to get to his feet as quickly as possible.
We got the lights back on. That's the most important thing. A little scared to have Frank Trigg next to me in the dark, but we're able to get the lights back on. We're ready to go.
Not as scary as I am looking at you in that thong.
That's actually the ring card girl. I know the lights you can't see, but here we go. Back to round one. Cyborg taking on Mr. Lopez in Jungle Fight, the Amazon. Cyborg, this is where he wants to fight. He wants to stand up and bang.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it just to stand in there and grind and then just get after it.
Throws some wild left-right combinations, goes to follow some kicks. Another kick lands. Good job by Lopez standing back up, but he gets hit by a big right hand by Cyborg. Trying to out-quick him, and actually he nails him with a right hand. How about that? Cyborg going down after a right hand from Lopez.
Good job by Lopez. Hit him right there and knocked Cyborg down to his knees. He's got to take advantage of it, though. Going back to his back is not going to help him out. He needs to get up there and keep after Cyborg while he's still a little bit foggy.
Well, going into this, he didn't seem wanted to, I don't think he wanted to stand. He wanted to take him down, but after that right hand, he might rethink some things.
Geez, that was crazy. That was a great exchange between those guys earlier. Let's see if we can get another one happening right now and see if anything else changes.
Lucas Lopez, known for his jiu-jitsu, but he landed the biggest right hand so far in this fight. Goes back to his back, gets back up.
Cyborg getting a little bit better about wanting to keep us to his feet. You can tell he's wanting to try to get this big power knockout here real quick.
Cyborg has that aggressive, wild style, but you can get caught when you're that wild and you come in that strong. You can get caught.
Yeah, he needs to keep a little bit better technique. He's just kind of swinging. He basically has huge looping punches. He needs to keep his hands a little bit straighter, keep moving forward a little bit more.
But if those punches land, they can knock you out. That was a big left hand he landed just a few moments ago. Nice leg kick lands by Cyborg. Loading up. He wanted to load up on that right hand. Just short with it. Both fighters from right here in Brazil. Cyborg just a little more patient now. And you see Lopez shoot in, wanted to go for the double leg, but nice sprawl once again by Cyborg.
Good job. Got both underhooks in and then slid him all the way up his body, got him off his legs. Good job by Cyborg. Excellent work.
Cyborg Santos, Lucas Lopez, battling right here on Jungle Fight on the Fight Network. For more information about Jungle Fight, K1, kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, or MMA, go to www.thefightnetwork.com. Things slowing down just a little bit here in the first round after a frantic first couple minutes of the fight.
Well, most guys can't keep this pace up for a long time, so you get a little lull in it, but I can guarantee you, as we see here, with Cyborg, it's not going to be a very long lull. He tends to take a 10 or 15-second break, and he's all over it again.
Yeah, Cyborg came in with some wild rights and lefts there. You do not want to get caught by those, and now they'll stand up, and that's the bell for round one. Interesting first round, a very entertaining first round between these two.
Yeah, great job. A lot of action. That's the thing I really like about most of these guys that are down here. Obviously we're seeing there's Dario Golar in the back right there. You see the bald-headed guy in the blue shirt. Great wrestler, University of Minnesota. Good friend of mine. Excellent guy. Most of these guys from Brazil, they tend to want to fight. That's the thing you got to like really about the Brazilian fighters, that all of them really want to fight. They always want to, most of them are really good sportsmen. As you see some of the replays here, they're just amazing in their ability to, hey, look, we're going to come in here and swing for the fences, and tonight, let's go out and have a couple of drinks together and kind of hang out together, and, it's the camaraderie out here is amazing, man. It's just absolutely amazing.
Lopez landed that big right hand that actually dropped Cyborg, which was a huge surprise early in the round, and Cyborg came back and was the aggressor. It'll be interesting to see how the judges want to score the first round.
I know, it's going to be a little bit difficult because, you got that knockdown, even though there's no standing 8 count or whatever. Everyone could tell that Cyborg got knocked down. That makes it, 10-8 round for Lopez, but the rest of the round, basically, Cyborg controlled everything. So, does that make that a 10-9 round the other way, or, what does it do?
Right now, you see both corners trying to cool off both fighters. It is a very hot and humid night tonight here in the Amazon. We'll find out quickly who's in better shape, because it only takes you one round to understand how, just sitting here is so hot and humid. I can only imagine what the fighters are going through.
Yeah, I know, you're picking it up. I'm sitting here finally got my shirt off. I'm down to my underwear, so it's a a little hot right over here just in the broadcast booth. And I can't imagine what they're going through up there.
Scaring, everybody here at ringside. How about that trick? All right, round 2 now. Cyborg, Lopez, battling it out. And once again, Lopez wants to take down, he can't get it.
Lopez's thing is that he's just shooting in and kind of shooting to Cyborg.
Oh, good combination there landed by Cyborg.
That was great. Great job. The problem is, Lopez is just shooting to Cyborg. Like I was trying to say before that good exchange, he's got to shoot through him. He has to actually try to shoot through the guy. If you're shooting to him, you're just going to get right to his legs. He's going to stop you every time. You got to blast through a guy like Cyborg and run right down to the ground. Whoa!
And mentally, it's going to be tough on Lopez as well because, the more he shoots in, the more he does not get the takedown. That's going to affect him mentally.
Oh, absolutely. And, Lopez is he wants to get up to the ground. He'd even be happy to jump the guard right now if he can get Cyborg to follow him down.
Cyborg now, he's really starting to settle down. He's really starting to land a lot more strikes than he did in the first round. Everything with the leg kicks to the combinations. You see the knee that Lopez wanted to land, almost telegraphed it and still almost landed it.
The thing about Cyborg is he tends to do better after he's tired because his technique gets better. He tends to snap his punches out a little bit better, snap his leg kicks out a little bit better. So he seems to do better the middle end of second rounds and the end of the third rounds as far as his technical ability within the fight.
So he's not so wild with all that energy, huh?
Yeah, it's hard too because you're nervous and you want to do. I'm kind of the same way too. I have to really concentrate on being super calm when I walk in the ring because I want to fight like Cyborg right when I first go in and just start swinging for the fences.
Lucas Lopez in the white shorts facing Cyborg Santos in the dark colored shorts. We're Jungle Fight Championships here in the Amazon.
Wow, I got to tell you what, Ryan, that leg kick was so hard to knock Lopez down. He came right down and, of course, he just hopped back up again. But that's what we were talking about earlier. Cyborg's...
Whoa, good combination. And Lopez now a little dizzy. Cyborg is really starting to bring this fight to him. You see the welts on the left leg. Cyborg just methodically starting to wear him down.
Jeez, he's such a strong, powerful guy. This is absolutely amazing.
Right hand drops Lopez. Lopez is hurt, and he does not want to get up.
See, the crowd thinks he's just laying down to his back for no reason. He's getting hit there. He's getting knocked to his back. He's not just falling. He's not just laying down on purpose.
Yeah, we've seen some jiu-jitsu guys that will fall on their back and hopefully bring in the fighter, kind of bait him in. But this is not the case. Cyborg is just methodically picking him apart now.
He's doing a great job. He's not getting hit by Lopez. He's evading all of Lopez's punch, even though Lopez isn't being real active. But he's also, every single punch, every single kick is just taking his toll on Lopez at this point. Yeah,
and right now Cyborg can feel it. Lopez trying to move in forward, eats a left hand. Now Lopez in some trouble here. He's in some danger. Nice kick again by Cyborg. Cyborg's trying to pick it up. Nice right hand by Cyborg. He's starting to try to finish Lopez. Uppercut lands. Kick lands. Nice right hand. Lopez in a lot of trouble now.
Geez, this is crazy. Lopez now is just basically holding on for dear life. He's been stung by his last 3 or 4 major hits.
Cyborg, if he can continue to push the pace, he might be able to get him out of there.
Wow.
Oh, left hand drops him. Kick. Also, Cyborg just puts his hands on his hips, says, let's go, stand back up. I know Cyborg's tired, but if he can continue to push the pace, he can win this fight. And now Lopez just falls down again.
Yeah, now it's becoming a point where every time the Cyborg gets close, he just falls back. And he's got to get in there and battle. He's got to get in there and start stepping forward. If he doesn't do that, Cyborg's going to knock him out here pretty quick.
The referee's watching very closely as well. He's not checking those kicks very well. The referee kind of looks into the corner and says, watch your fighter. Left-right combination now lands. Cyborg trying to get him out of there. Continues to hammer. Referee watching very closely. Nice kick, drops him, and that's it. Forget about it.
Yeah, I got to tell you what, the referee could have stopped this fight, a little bit earlier even because Lopez really wasn't doing anything, not the fact that he was hurt or in any kind of danger. He just wasn't fighting back, and even at that point, sometimes you can stop these fights as well.
Cyborg Santos just wore down Lucas Lopez. That second round was a lot different than the first. Lopez had some energy, did some good things, but in the end, Cyborg gets a great win in Jungle Fight. Trig, let's show you some of the highlights of this entire fight.
This is the very beginning. He just basically attacked him and stalked him and jumped, got to side, kicked him in the legs when he was down on the ground. And here's one of the good exchanges that, Lopez kind of rolled his way out of it, kind of protect himself. This is right after he rocked Cyborg, had that guillotine, but got thrown right off. Cyborg was just such a strong, powerful man. And then more of the same. Every time that Lopez gets hit, he just basically falls to his back.
Great punches, great kicks. Cyborg finishes him off at the end of the second round. See the nice high kick? Cyborg just settles down. You know, Trick, we get a chance to really watch what Cyborg can do. We know what's impressive, but give me the things that he really needs to work on.
He's got to work on his technical ability for his boxing. He's too wild, but his punches are too wide. Obviously, his kicks are absolutely amazing. They're absolutely tremendous. He picks them pretty well. He needs to spend a little more time working on his wrestling. Why can't he take a guy to the ground and beat him?
All right, time for the main event of the evening. Good look at this man coming out, the one and only Ronaldo Jacare Souza, coming out from Brazil. Very entertaining fighter, very exciting fighter.
Yeah, he's one of the greats. No Amazon hero. He's a great, incredible jiu-jitsu submission expert. He's won the world championship in Brazilian jiu-jitsu in every belt level possible. Blue, brown, purple, black. He's absolutely amazing. He crushes his way through all his competition. In the black belt division, he had a tap out in every single time that he fought. I think he's now a two-time champion. They're getting ready this year to go for his third championship in the black belt division as well. He's absolutely one of the best guys in the submission. His submission game will not be a question. His takedowns are actually really good for a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. That art doesn't spend that much time on their feet. He has some pretty good takedowns from that position. What's going to be in question, of course, is his striking ability, especially against his opponent who loves to stand and strike. We got to see how quickly he can get this to the ground and how quickly he can snap the submission
oponente da noite de hoje, Jorge Patino Macaco.
And you hear his opponent's name, George Macaco Patino. They're getting ready to come out here. This is a gentleman that's been in many organizations. I remember him clear back at UFC 18, where he fought Pat Miletich. But you look who he's been in there with. He battled Pat Miletich, ended up losing that fight. Fought the great Pele. And he's just a tough hombre in his own right. Getting ready to come out here. He's dancing, Trick. He looks like you. Dancing. No. Actually, he's a little bit better dancer. Yeah. You have two left feet. Macaco. Very good fighter. I mentioned he's got a lot of experience. Maybe not in dancing, but I know he has a lot of experience in fighting. That's one thing that's very clear. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do tonight in Jungle Fight.
That's true. These two guys are great. Macaco means monkey, and Jacare is crocodile in Portuguese. So we got the crocodile versus the monkey. Let's see which one's a little bit tougher.
Wow, the dancing has me mesmerized. It really does. Pretty amazing. Not sure if you saw the movie Breaking to the Electric Boogaloo and pulled some moves from that, but either way, he's ready to fight tonight. Should be very entertaining bout. Macaco facing Jacare in the main event tonight of Jungle Fight, the first ever Jungle Fight. Trick, this has been truly remarkable.
Great job, great work. Valida Ishmael's done an incredible job with this. Antonio Noki, just amazing. They got everyone in. There's an incredible trip to get here to the middle of the Amazon. It's amazing. I got to tell you what, if you ever get a chance, to all the fans out there, you get a chance to come out and visit, you have to come visit the Amazon one time in your life. It is absolutely amazing.
I didn't know what to expect, but it is truly remarkable. I mean, you hear stories about the Amazon. It is beautiful here, no doubt about it.
I just wish that they would have given me a room with indoor plumbing.
Let's show you the tail of the tape between Jacare and Macaco.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Right now, I was going to say, both fighters, not a big weight differential.
The biggest difference you're going to notice is that Jacare is so much taller than Patino. Patino's got to spend a lot of time, getting inside. Macaco has to be inside the whole time with Jacare. But the thing is, too, that you don't have to really worry about his stand-up game. Macaco's stand-up is so much better than Jacare's at this point, just because, he's fought a lot more. He spent a lot more time working on it.
All right, both fighters will come to the center of the ring. Paulo Filo is the referee. He's definitely not only one of the best fighters in the business, but I thought he's done a great job in refereeing tonight.
Yeah, excellent work. Good job on Valida Ishmael to make this happen for him.
All right, both fighters quickly come to the center of the ring. Both fighters quickly battle for position. Jacare and Macaco. Macaco trying to get the single leg, cannot do it. Good sprawl by Jacare. Jacare comes right back, lands a nice knee.
A lot of action at the very beginning here. I'm very impressed by Jacare's ability to keep Macaco kind of tied up so he can't get his full punchings off and keep him tied up enough so he might get a chance to get a takedown there.
Jacare kind of received a little bit of a low blow but continues to fight, lands the knee, and now he wants to land one of his big right hands. And you can hear the crowd go nuts. This was a huge anticipated fight. That's why it's the main event of the evening. Two tremendous fighters battling it out.
You're doing a really, really good job. And here's the thing, though. You got to remember, Jacare's a main submission artist, but you don't get punched when you're in jiu-jitsu. So it throws off his game just a little bit. He's got to get used to getting struck and getting hit the whole time he's in there.
Makako also landed some nice right-left combinations. You see Jacare actually get popped by Makako. Boy, fast and furious action here in the first round. Both guys working for so many different kinds of transitions. Jacare now on his back. Man, I mean, we're talking transition after transition. This is pretty amazing to watch. Both fighters now trying to stay in the ring. They're going to stop the fight so they can keep him into the ring.
Got to bring him back in. They should restart him in the same position. That was kind of a weird position. I don't think they can actually start him back in that exact spot.
Yeah, they might have to reset him here and start him standing. We'll see what the referee wants to do. Paulo Filo, we're actually talking with the judges about it. And now we're going to see a yellow card.
Yeah, the reason why they threw out this yellow card is because on the way up, Makako threw a back kick kind of on Jacare as he was getting up into his head after the competition stopped.
Well, the interesting part, we haven't seen any yellow cards tonight. You and I didn't even think there was any yellow cards until now, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wish they would have used them in a couple earlier fights.
Exactly. Makako now going at it head-to-head with Jacare. I thought Jacare landed a better combination. Makako now ties up Jacare.
You know, Jacare's doing a good job of getting a swing up, but if you see, he's kind of wild like Cyborg is. You know, he's kind of got that broad, really hard swinging style that really doesn't have much technique behind the punching. But if he would just kind of tighten up just a little bit, he'd be able to knock out Jacare here relatively easily.
This crowd coming to its feet now, screaming and yelling, supporting both fighters. Pretty mixed as far as who they want to win. Makako been pretty good with his striking, been very accurate.
They're not bad. Jacare's doing a pretty good job too. He's all his punches a little bit straighter. You know, not as much experience with it, so he's not as quite proficient at the timing. But definitely holding his own right now on the feet. Yeah,
Makako just continues to punch and move forward. A little bit wild here. Does land a low kick there, but he's kind of coming at him straight forward, just trying to throw punch after punch after punch. Jacare now lands a nice left hand. Oh, Makako retaliates with the left hand in the zone. 2 unanswered left by Makako. Jacare moving in now. Oh, good right hand by Makako.
Wow.
Oh, Makako knocks him down.
Wow.
Are they saying it's over? That's it. He's still out. Wow.
Yeah,
wow. How about that, Makako?
Jeez Louise, that was a great flash knockout. I mean, Jacare wants to fight. He wants to continue on as the true hero that he is, but you know, you can't continue like that. That was a great hook by Makako to knock out Jacare.
How about that, Makako? One punch knockout. Jacare, you saw it. He tried to get back up to his feet. He had no legs. He was wobbling all over the place and flew across the ring. I know that's not the way he wanted to end, but Jacare will be back. But Makako, the big right hand, and a huge win for him tonight in the main event of Jungle Fight. Wow.
What an amazing, that was an amazing finals, an amazing main event. It was an amazing, watching these two guys go after it, especially the venue was incredible. This is we had a great trip. This is, I can't get over that Jacare, is as proficient as he is on his feet and striking. Did such a great job, made one little minor mistake, kind of had his hands down his chin up, and Makako took advantage of it, as you see here in the replay. He's just, at this point, Makako's just trying to lunge forward, just trying to get Jacare confused. He comes swinging in as heavy and hard as he can, and he eventually catches him right here. I'm sorry, I think it's right in this spot where he catches him backpedaling a little bit. Jacare gets caught backpedaling a little bit. There it is right here. Boom. Just turn to look. He was backpedaling, trying to get back, trying to back out of the way out of Makako's striking distance, and Jacare got caught right on the neck, and that dropped him down for the finish of the fight. 2
big right hands from Makako. Surprising a lot of people here tonight. He was actually the underdog, believe it or not, going in, but he comes out your winner, victorious tonight in Jungle Fight. You see the dignitaries there. Walid Ismail, the promoter. You see the politicians that also came out to support the Jungle Fight tonight. Just an amazing night from Brazil. Hey, don't forget about our website. You can check it out anytime at www.thefightnetwork.com. For Frank Trigg, I'm Ryan Bennett. We'll catch you next time.